for trying to sell undercover officers counterfeit tickets to the Duke, North Carolina basketball game. Brandon Michael Goodall, after seeing an ad on Craigslist, brought authorities to his house. They say when he handed over the tickets, Goodall was handcuffed, taken to jail. He's held on $8,500 bond. Blackhawks and Stars meet tonight at the UC. Chicago's lost three straight. College hoops. DePaul fell to Creighton 76-75. Over in the Valley, Loyola win number 20 on the year. They beat Drake 72-57. Bradley lost to Northern Iowa. To the Big Ten, where number 14 Ohio State upsets number 3 Purdue. Unranked St. John's followed their win over number 4 Duke by stunning top-ranked Villanova last night, 79-75 in Philly. Illinois back home tonight as Wisconsin visits the State Farm Center, and Illinois State will host SIU. The news, a service of Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR pros can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. 5:08. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Our nation is deeply divided. Gone are the days when civil discourse bridged the gap between the two sides. If we'll ever find common ground, we must get beyond the talking points. AM 560, The Answer, is bringing together two of America's sharpest political minds from opposite sides of the aisle to do just that. It's Beyond the Talking Points with Dan Proft and Donna Brazil on Thursday, March 22nd. Proft and Brazil will go head-to-head, tackling the big issues facing our nation. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/beyond.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Ed, get in here and shut the door.
What's up, boss?
What's up? You have to ask, Ed?
Yes, sir. Usually, sir.
Ed, you're naked as a jaybird.
Correctamundo, sir. Just as you ordered.
I what?
You told us Jimmy John's was going on natural, sir.
No, Ed, I told you our meats are now all natural.
Huh?
That's meats, Ed, not employees.
Oh, I get it now. It's our meats that are all natural.
Yes, Ed. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
How embarrassing.
No kidding. It's a good thing I got to you before your first delivery.
Yeah, well, I already spread the word, sir, and...
Naked? Oh, no.
He's what? Naked?
Naked.
He's naked.
People make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter. One click posts your job to over 100 top job boards. Then, smart matching technology instantly alerts quality candidates about your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
5:11 and a check of the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. You've mentioned the weather that's incoming, so plan accordingly. If you're be out and about, you can do things earlier rather than later. It'd probably be a good call. That being said, we have some issues now on the expressways. Eisenhower inbound, stop and go North Avenue to St. Charles. Crash there in the right lane. In fact, there's a semi-involved possible fuel leak. This could back things up. The delay is North Avenue to St. Charles, 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. On Stevenson, stop and go LaGrange Road to the Des Plaines River Bridge. Car smacked into the wall, so you got a brief slowdown in that area. Inbound Ryan heavy. In the local lanes at 47th, 2 trucks involved in a collision. They've been moved over to the shoulder at 47. Inbound I-57, still Halstead to the merge, 18 minutes, I-80 to the Ryan, Bishop Ford 16. Tollways are okay right now. No big deal at the airport this morning. That will likely change later in the day. Traffic service, TrueCar. Looking to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore with True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for it too. If you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. EM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Winter storm warning in effect 6 p.m. this evening till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Today, mostly cloudy and very cold with a high 22. Tonight, periods of snow accumulating 3 to 6 inches, low 18, but temperatures rise into the middle 20s overnight. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Already heavy snow this morning, stretching across the state from Freeport all the way to Bloomington and down to Urbana. That's already impacting 55 and 57, especially as you head south. We'll keep our eyes on that. In Chicago, 9 at O'Hare, 12 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, under my tutelage, mentorship, you have come to understand the world is a ugly and dark place.
Yes, I have.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that once in a while,
yes, we get to celebrate.
There's an array of sunshine that peeks through, and something that is unifying and uplifting. And this story from the Today Show of of all places, I should say, is one such instance. The new Gerber baby, his name is Lucas. Yeah, and by the way, did you notice this has only been going on since 2010, the Gerber baby contest? Doesn't seem like it's been going on for decades.
Yeah.
Because the Gerber baby's been around, but they've only made it a popularity contest of sorts since 2010.
Right.
Yeah. So Lucas is a 1-year-old from Dalton, Georgia, who is the first child selected to be the Gerber baby with Down syndrome. How about that?
And he's actually celebrated on television.
Yes,
because they had him on set yesterday, and they did an in-depth story. They went to their house in Dalton, Georgia, and talked to mom and dad. And
Natalie attired with a bow tie.
Yes.
Did you see
He's
that?
got that twinkle in his eye and his little Chucky cheeks.
So when she heard that there was a contest going on, she said, you know what? I mean, every mom thinks that their son or daughter is the cutest kid in the world. But Lucas really is the cutest kid in the world.
Yeah, he's a good-looking kid. Interesting, some of the responses and reactions you heard from mom there. But she also said, we're hoping this will impact everyone, that it will shed a bit of light. This is the dad, speaking, Jason. Shed a little bit of light on the special needs community and help more individuals with special needs be accepted and not limited. They have the potential to change the world just like everyone else. I thought Katie Driscoll, who's the founder of a nonprofit organization called Changing the Face of Beauty, made a good point. We believe if brands represent children with a disability, they're communicating their value to our society. Moves like this move us closer to a more inclusive world.
And this is how they found out that little Lucas had Down syndrome.
We didn't actually find out he had Down syndrome until he was born. My biggest concern always with Lucas was how people were going to treat him.
And if they had done the genetic testing and found out he had Down syndrome, they still would have kept him. Unlike people in Iceland, who, if they find out through genetic testing that you're going to have a baby born with Down syndrome, the child is aborted right away.
Well, that's the case. I mean, it's a remarkable statistic, a ghoulish statistic in Iceland, where it's been the case, like no Down syndrome baby has been born for like 7 years. But it's the case, it's a high incidence of abortion for Down syndrome children in England. And, oh, by the way, here, it's not as high as Iceland because that's right up to 100%. But it's certainly something that's part of the discussion here. And remember, the test for Downs is not 100%.
No.
Remember, our friend Sean from Almond Park told us his story about when he and his wife had, I think it was their second daughter, there was an initial false positive test for Downs.
And it's
false
happened
positive
to more people.
Oh, I'm no question.
The father, they received $50,000, and for them, that's life-changing.
Seeing your child exceed in life is something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
This is life-changing. That it is. And we're hoping Lucas looks back on it and feels proud.
Absolutely. Meal ticket.
Well,
that should be his nickname.
I shouldn't say. Obviously, the dad was so sweet. He was crying through the interview, and he couldn't even get through some of the questions because he was just so proud of his son.
Well, it's a remarkable story because it runs counter to the narrative of the left on this issue. I'm sorry, but there's a policy implication here. I loved when we did a man on the street for our Connect the Dots segment on. Follow the Logic segment of Connecting the Dots. Follow the Logic segment on Upstream-Ideas. Asked a bunch of people, random people, man on the street stuff in Chicago.
Yeah, would you ask?
Are you pro-life, pro-choice? Oh, pro-choice. Oh. Would you? Do you think that a child should be aborted because they have a disability? Oh, no. Do you think we're getting, because of science, we're getting potentially in the not too distant future to a point where there may be a test to determine whether someone's gay or not in the womb.
Well, if they're male or female, and some women who've had multiple girls and wanted a boy. I know one woman who aborted a baby because of that.
Well, okay, so, but what about if you could test for sexual orientation? Is it okay to abort based on sexual orientation? Oh, no. Oh. Is it okay to abort based on gender? No. Okay, so then I'm sorry. It shows the power of the branding movement among a segment of the population, the pro-abort branding movement. But it's fascinating then when you turn around and you celebrate Lucas, the Gerber baby. So square the circle for me.
Well, little Lucas, 1 year old, already going to spread the joy.
What has this meant to you guys? I mean, it's incredible.
It's just amazing. I mean, he gets to spread so much joy and love with everybody.
Lucas is first. Down syndrome is just something that he has.
Yep, Lucas is first. Down syndrome is something that he has.
Well, remember Frank Stevens? He's a young man with Down syndrome, testified before a congressional committee.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about him before.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he listened to what Stevens had to say. This was about research on Downs and federal funding of research on Downs.
I don't feel I should have to justify my existence. But to those who question the value of people with Down syndrome, I would make 3 points. First, we are a medical gift to society, a blueprint for medical research into cancer, Alzheimer's, and immune system disorders. Second, we are an unusually powerful source of happiness. A Harvard-based study has discovered that people with Down syndrome, as well as their parents and siblings, are happier than society at large. Surely happiness is worth something. Finally, we are the canary in the eugenics coal mine. We are giving the world a chance to think about the ethics of choosing which humans get a chance at life. So we are helping to defeat cancer and Alzheimer's, and we make the world a happier place. Is there really no place for us in the world.
Is there really no place for us in the world? Well, no, there is a place for Frank Stevens in the world, and also Lucas, the Gerber baby.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Weather's a big story here because we are in a winter watch right now. Today, though, mostly cloudy, cold, a high of 22 degrees. Now, tonight it begins. We're going to have anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. And Friday, periods of snow, 4 to 8 inches, and all storm totals could be 8 inches to a foot of snow, a high tomorrow of 28 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. It's the calm before the storm, huh, Jim Telemonte?
That's right. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Somewhat calm. We still have a few incidents right now on the Kennedy inbound in the express lanes. It's stop and go Damon to Armitage. Got a crash there on the right lanes. You're looking at 2 or 3 minute delay in the express. Local lanes are wide open. Edens is clear. Eisenhower inbound. Heavy North Avenue to St. Charles. Got a crash and possible fuel leak there. 34 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound find at 29. Down Stevenson, past LaGrange Road. A car smacked the walls. Prepare to slow down in that area. Getting a little congested now approaching Kedzie as well. On Ryan, tight Roosevelt Circle. Bishop Ford, so 103rd to the merge. That's about a 3 or 4 minute delay. Tollways are okay. No problems to report right now in northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
If you still haven't purchased the very best pillow, of course I'm talking about MyPillow, the 4-pack deal is back. So I strongly urge you to go online or call now to make sure you take advantage of this great deal. A great night's sleep is so important, so give yourself the gift of a great night's sleep by ordering a MyPillow. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. The MyPillow 4-pack deal includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need, regardless if I sleep on my back or side. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And MyPillow is made in America, washable and dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty, plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the 4-pack in February by calling 800-489-0201, use the promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, people have spring fever. Consumer confidence is up, and that means spending. We want folks to enjoy what they've worked so hard for, but don't forget...
Craig, are you trying to tell me something? I know. Retirement's right around the corner.
Listen, a new season is time for regrowth and building on what you already have. You don't need to do it alone if you have Wealth Management Group at your side.
Spring into action to make Wealth Management Group your go-to partner, and listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan, period.
No, Mr. Obama, we can't. That was the 2013 PolitiFact lie of the year. In 2017, Blue Cross canceled 97% of their policies. Because your 2017 Blue Cross policy was canceled, you're still eligible to purchase a new plan under special enrollment until March 1st, even though Obamacare open enrollment has ended. And depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. Better yet, the Obamacare mandate will be repealed thanks to President Trump, so you'll no longer be fined by the IRS for purchasing lower-priced, short-term plans. There's no one better to help you navigate the Obamacare maze than C. Stephen Tucker. He's a 20-year licensed broker who I know and trust, who's been educating listeners for more than 6 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
The evidence mounts. A toddler nearly drowns and symptoms are reversed. A stroke patient regains mobility. An autistic child speaks for the first time in 14 years. A quarterback who suffered multiple concussions and memory loss has remarkable improvement. What's the connection? They all underwent hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It's approved for a variety of conditions like concussion, cerebral palsy, immune deficiency, fibromyalgia, consequences of stroke, and more. The Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago are leaders in HBOT that accelerates the body's natural healing process by breathing 100% oxygen in a total body chamber with increased atmospheric pressure. Your insurance may cover hyperbaric oxygen therapy. To learn more, call Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago in Deerfield at 847-945-HBOT or visit hbot.md 847-945-4268 or hbot.md. Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago, the hyperbaric therapy experts.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy, you had a harangue you wanted to offer in the direction of modern-day feminists.
Well, I think feminists are ruining regular ladies' lives. Take, for instance...
Tell me about it.
Well, the F1 Grid Girls, are you familiar with them?
The F1 Grid Girls.
They were fired from their jobs because they...
These are Formula One.
Formula One, yes.
Yeah.
Girls that, they're...
Like the ice girls at the UC.
Yeah, they hold up the car, like what lap they're on. And
Oh,
they
yeah,
serve a
like
purpose.
ring
Let me-
girls, yeah.
Yeah, let me show you here. Let me introduce you to some of the fine ladies. They're good-looking ladies.
Yeah, they are.
They serve a purpose, and they're part of the atmosphere of Formula One racing.
Yeah.
And the feminists have decided, oh, no, that's demeaning to you. That's that. So now in this day and age, in this Me Too movement, they're all fired. So now we have 18 women out of a job. I'm trying to be
Wow.
serious, but but seriously, and they've all gone to, social media saying that why are they deciding what's right for me?
Well, exactly.
If I want to be
Exactly.
but if I have a beautiful body and I want to show it off and I want to be on the track holding a sign, that's my business. That's not your business.
That's exactly what I said back in the day.
And also,
but
yes.
that's the key, is right. Feminism means some women tell other women what to do and what they can and can't do. That's the interesting part.
let me
about
introduce you to Gina. She's a 5-time F1 Grid Girl. She says the band is, quote, political correctness gone mad.
it. Yeah.
A lot of women have lost their jobs because feminists think they know what's best for us. Also,
Boy. All right.
the National Organization of Women, I'm still mad at them for getting rid of the Swedish bikini team. They thought that was sexist. And then you had 9 girls on the Swedish bikini team lose their jobs.
Guys, it doesn't get any better than this. Walt Smith was wrong, because when Muskrat Mike discovered gold, it got somewhat better. And when the Swedish bikini team came downstream, it got a little better. And when reinforcements of Old Milwaukee arrived, it most certainly got better.
Old Milwaukee.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It just doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah.
Do you remember that commercial?
I also remember the spoof of it with Chris Farley and Adam Sandler, the gay spoof of it.
Yeah. And then we have, real quickly, Doritos are having Lady Doritos, a smaller pouch that can fit in our purse, less crunchy because women were too, dainty flowers. We can't make noise when we eat. Okay. And then less stuff so that you don't lick your fingers. That's why you eat Doritos, to lick your fingers afterward.
Okay.
I just think that they're
Hey.
encroaching on our turf, and they should not decide what I do with my body. If you've got a great body, you want to be a Formula One Grid Girl, you should be able to do that. But now all these women are out of jobs.
Blackhawks are going to lose their nickname. They're going to lose their logo. They're going to lose the sweaters. They're going to lose the Ice Girls next. I mean, this is up to you, Jacobson. This is all on you.
All right.
All right, Amy and I are going to go outside and burn our bras, and then at 5:38, we're going to talk about the budget deal.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
10 degrees above, cloudy skies. The Senate expected to vote later today on a bipartisan 2-year budget deal. The budget would substantially raise spending for defense and domestic programs.
We are pleased that Congress has been able to meet our defense spending requirement and come together on a 2-year spending bill. This deal achieves our top priority, a much-needed increase in funding for our national defense.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, Defense Secretary James Mattis, pleased about the new 2-year deal. It removes some budget caps and will boost spending.
I'm heartened that Congress recognizes the sobering effect of budgetary uncertainty on America's military and on the men and women who provide for our nation's defense.
However, House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi Making history on the budget floor, the minority leader wrapped up a marathon speech in protest of that budget proposal.
Let us thank and acknowledge the dreamers for their courage, their optimism, their inspiration to make America more American.
Pelosi spoke on the floor for about 8 hours. White House Staff Secretary Rob Porter will step down after claims of abuse. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders confirmed that resignation yesterday.
Rob has put out a statement. These outrageous allegations are simply false. I took the photos given to the media nearly 15 years ago, and the reality behind them is nowhere close to what is being described.
Porter's 2 former wives have accused him of domestic abuse. Vice President Mike Pence sending a strong message to North Korea.
All options are on the table. And the American Armed Forces and self-defense forces of Japan will be ready to defend our people and our way of life.
Speaking at the Yokota Air Base in Japan, Pence is now on his way to the Olympics in South Korea. Law enforcement in Texas mourning the loss of one of their own this morning. A Richardson police officer was shot Wednesday during a standoff with an armed man in suburban Dallas.
We get dispatched out here on a disturbance call. Not exactly clear what the disturbance is. When the officers get out here, they start taking gunfire. Unfortunately, one of our officers was struck.
That's spokesman Kevin Perlich, who also says a civilian was killed in the shooting. Philadelphia going all out today, decked out in green, celebrating the Eagles' Super Bowl victory on those famous steps you saw in the Rocky movie where the art museum is. That is where the parade will start and end at 11 a.m. It starts in South Philly, rolls to City Hall, and then to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, where it will finish. Public schools, offices, courts are closed in Philadelphia. Winter storm warning in effect here until 6 p.m. on Friday. National Weather Service says that storm heading through northeastern Illinois and northwest Indiana could bring 9 to 12 inches of snow. A judge has denied a request to release from jail a woman with a history of sneaking onto planes whose attorney wanted her sent to a nonprofit facility. And fresh off the launch of his SpaceX Heavy rocket, Elon Musk is expressing some down-to-earth interest in an express train from O'Hare to downtown Chicago. Musk's The Boring Company. It's one of 4 companies interested now in designing, building, financing, operating, and maintaining a high-speed train from O'Hare into the Loop. Blackhawks and Stars meet tonight. College hoops last night. DePaul fell to Creighton by 1 in the Valley. Win number 20 for Loyola. They beat Drake 72-57. Big Ten, number 14 Ohio State upset number 3 Purdue. The news service of Indeed.com, used by more than 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher reacts to the State of the Union.
Real simple takeaway. If you weren't impressed by the president's speech, not just the delivery, but the message, what was contained, the spirit of the message, the direction of the country, the State of the Union, if you weren't impressed, then it's real simple. Your lack of objectivity blinds you from the truth.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
The flu is getting around this time of year, but fortunately, MedExpress is open 8 to 8 every day. Just walk into one of our warm, welcoming centers to get the care you need. MedExpress Urgent Care.
Hear that? That's the sound of a quality solid door from Competitive Door and Supply Company. Doors that serious contractors use for everything from hospitals to schools to warehouses. Not the hollow stuff you find at the big box home improvement stores. Solid core wood doors made out of oak and birch, steel doors, and custom orders ready for installation. Call Competitive Door and Supply Company, 708-366-0194. And for a limited time, get free delivery.
5:36 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound. It's heavy in the express lanes, Diversey to Armitage. An earlier crash is cleared. Everything is reopened. You've got about a 3 or 4 minute delay there in the express lanes. The locals are still fine. Eden's looking good. Eisenhower inbound. Stop and go York to St. Charles. Crash in the right lane. It is 38 minutes, 390 to downtown. 16 from Manheim. Outbound's fine. Mount Stevenson, bottled up Willow Springs Road to before the Des Plaines River Bridge. Got a crash there. And it's heavy Cicero to Cudsey. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 34. Ryan, 17 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57's good. Bishop Ford, 5-minute delay for 103rd at the merge. Tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana 2. Traffic, service of TrueCar. Looking to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore with True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for it too. If you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Winter storm warning goes into effect. A watch and then a warning goes into effect at 6 tonight, extending all the way through Friday. Right now, mostly cloudy skies and cold for this Thursday, a high of 22. The snow starts this evening, and overnight accumulations of 3 to 6 inches, a low of 18. Currently 9. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And we got a budget deal. Is that something to celebrate? 2-year budget deal to avoid any more government shutdown theater that could have restarted tomorrow night. The key part of that budget deal, though, is an agreement by both sides. And it's nice when both sides come together in bipartisan harmony to do what usually happens when everybody agrees. Bad stuff, like eliminate sequestration, and we'll spend more on the domestic side, and you get to spend more on the military side, and everybody's happy. Here's Sarah Sanders explaining the deal.
We are pleased that Congress has been able to meet our defense spending requirement and come together on a 2-year spending bill. This deal achieves our top priority, a much-needed increase in funding for our national defense. This deal also increases budget caps, ends the sequester, and provides certainty for the next 2 years. Defense spending will match the request made by the Pentagon and will reflect what the President signed into law with the National Defense Authorization Act.
So you like the deal? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You happy just to have a deal? We got 2 years. We'll spend more money we don't have and borrow against tomorrow to pay for yesterday. But we won't have any drama, or more to the point, melodrama. And so it's all good if we continue to spend beyond our means, and nobody seems particularly interested in reining in Leviathan on the spend side.
Well, where are the deficit hawks, really? I mean, this little thing we call the budget deficit, we're adding trillions
total
of
debt. Yes.
Right, total debt. But nobody cares? Or is this trying to process this deal right now?
You know, you get to spend on your stuff, and we get to spend on our stuff, and that's how you get $20 trillion in debt. That's how you get $80 trillion in unfunded liabilities. That's what's been happening at a smaller scale, at the microcosmic scale, in Illinois for so many generations. So be on board for this. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Mad Dog Mattis, SecDef Mattis, took to the dais after Sanders to offer his position and his enthusiasm for the end of sequestration as it pertains to Pentagon cuts. And look, I understand. I don't want to mess with Mattis. I know his personal coda is be polite to everyone you meet, but also have a plan to kill them. So it makes for very tense press conferences. You never know where he's going to go, but Mattis had this to say about the deal.
Failure to implement or fund the 2018 National Defense Strategy will leave us with a force that could dominate the last war, yet be irrelevant to tomorrow's security. We need Congress to lift the defense spending caps and support a 2-year budget agreement for our military. America can afford survival.
And then Mattis provided the specifics of what wouldn't be done, couldn't be done without this deal.
Absent a budget this year, America's military will not be able to provide pay for our troops by the end of the year. We will not be able to recruit the 15,000 Army soldiers and 4,000 Air Force airmen required to fill critical manning shortfalls. We would not be able to maintain our ships at sea with the proper balance between operations and time for training and maintenance. We would have to ground aircraft due to a lack of maintenance and spare parts, degrading our pilots' proficiency. We would deplete the ammunition, training, and manpower required to deter war. And we would delay contracts for vital acquisition programs necessary to modernize our force. I cannot overstate the negative impact to our troops and families' morale from all this budget uncertainty.
I agree about budget certainty. The question is, there's no way to refashion the $750 billion in the Department of Defense with the essentially growth caps on spend under sequestration so as to accommodate the needs of the 21st century United States military. I'm not sold on that. What I hear, and obviously I have great respect and admiration for Mattis as a military leader, but what I hear from Mattis, the cabinet officer, is what you hear from agency heads all the time, which is, I want to start from where we are now and go up to address other needs we have, rather than re-examining how we're doing and where we're spending across the agency or across the federal government. I go back to this conversation we've had before with Steve Moore, the penny plan. The idea of stripping out 1 penny of every dollar the federal government spends, the math on this is remarkable, how quickly you would get to truly balanced budgets that accommodate liabilities as they're accrued, as well as start to rein in our burgeoning debt. 1 penny on the dollar. So if thinking about this at the agency level, I would have... See, the problem is the D.C. press corps that asks Mattis questions. First of all, they're scared out of their minds.
Too bad you're not out there.
But I mean, it would be... But they assume they're big spenders too. They're the big government press corps. So they never ask the question, well, General, with due respect, you're telling me, like the penny plan, you couldn't apply the penny plan to the Pentagon? 1 penny of every dollar that's spent and use that money to start to address those needs of those modernization and support needs for our troops that you just described? I mean, let's talk numbers here. Let's talk the spend. Does anybody believe the Pentagon is the most efficient organization when it comes to spend? I mean, I know we've got the kind of cartoonish stories about the $500 hammer and the $600 toilet seat, but they're based on reality. The contracting abuses that we talked about at FEMA yesterday and happened throughout the government, the Pentagon isn't insulated from those contracting abuses, isn't insulated from that waste and that fraud. So I just would like a little better pushback, and I think Republicans would be in a much stronger position on the spending issue if they'd push back against Mattis and push back against the Pentagon when we then turn our sights to things like entitlement reform.
Yeah, and also, too, we should keep in mind this $400 billion budget deal does not include Trump's $25 billion request for a border wall.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Well,
yeah.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Now, Mattis was also asked about the military parade.
Well, they didn't ask about the budget, Dan, because that's not, people don't care about that. What people
care about the parade.
No, everybody loves a parade.
Yes.
Or do they?
That's Ethel Merman.
Ethel Merman.
Yeah,
Hi. Thank you. It's pretty good, huh?
It's not bad.
Thank you.
It's not as good as the actual Ethel Merman in Airplane, but it's pretty good. So here's Mattis on the military parade.
Can you talk about where things are in the planning stages for this military parade the president is seeking, and what any cost estimates you have at this point are?
As I think we're all aware in this country of the president's affection and respect for the military. We've been putting together some options. We'll send them up to the White House for decision.
A question about North Korea, but that's a follow-up on Catherine's question there. You just laid out the argument for fully funding the military, why you think every dollar counts. So why divert time, energy, financial resources to the planning of a parade, as the president has asked?
Again, I think that what my responsibility is to make certain I lay out the strategy and make the argument for the oversight of Congress to make a determination of fully funding us. As far as the parade goes, again, the president's respect, his fondness for the military, I think, is reflected in him asking for these options.
There you go.
Well, if he wants a military parade, first of all, I mean, honestly, I don't know what we're celebrating. The last time we had a military parade and tanks rolled down Pennsylvania Avenue and troops was 1991. That cost $12 million. It'll cost $21 million, they estimate, to do the same thing. But it seems too self-serving to me. And Lindsey Graham went a step further and called it Cheetos?
I don't mind having a parade honoring the service and sacrifice of our military members. I'm not looking for a Soviet-style hardware display. That's not who we are. It's kind of cheesy, and I think shows weakness, quite frankly.
Cheesy.
Yeah, so.
I just think it's a colossal waste of money.
We'll see what Mattis comes up with in terms of recommendations to the president.
And when it will be, too.
I mean, I love the thing. I agree that small things are indicative of big things. Mm-hmm. But I so love how people get exercised about, whatever, $20 million for a parade in a $4 trillion annual budget with $20 trillion in debt and $80 trillion. I'm not exercised about 100 redundant food support programs. I'm not exercised about the FEMA contract for 30 million meals and 50,000 get delivered. No. I'm not paying attention to that. But because you can attach Trump to it with a parade for $20 million.
Well, but the reason why he's doing it is because he was at Bastille Days. He saw a great show, and he's like, I want to bring this great show back to the United States.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is the fiscal conservatives when it comes to something that is, I mean, it's pocket lint.
Right.
But
I don't care how much it costs.
But you're not in. Well, then don't bring up the cost.
Well, because that's what the Democrats were bringing up yesterday. Dick Durbin, a colossal waste of money.
Yeah, of course the Democrats are bringing it up. They're fiscal conservatives on $20 million, and they're spend on $4 trillion plus every year. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have standing on the spend issue, then show me you're interested in the big stuff as well as the small, politically convenient stuff against one of your partisan rivals. I mean, honestly, just a shard of intellectual consistency and honesty would be a welcome relief. Greg in Jefferson Park.
Hey, good morning, guys. I used to work for a company making molding compound, and we actually sold to the Army a small amount for rifles. And I used to get requests for proposals every once in a while for other stuff. And I remember I'm looking at them, and it would have been about $70,000 worth of business annually for our company. But in talking to our accountants and lawyers, it would have cost about $50,000 to fill out the paperwork to bid on the job. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Each quote had 500 pages of associated paperwork. It was just ridiculous. The bureaucracy is insane.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Greg. No, and this is the case throughout government, and particularly the federal government, and the Pentagon is obviously no exception. It's probably a good example of the problem. And so I go back to say, the celebration, Republicans celebrating the end of sequestration, and with due respect to SecDef Mattis, they're wrong on this. It's a mistake. We're never going to live within our means or rethink Leviathan, get the government out of businesses it's no good at doing, be able to keep the promises we make to the American people. Never going to be able to do that until Republicans get serious about spending across the board, including for politically sensitive areas to them.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
True story. So I urged one of my family members to call CertaPro Painters. He didn't do it, and that painting crew had to come back 3 times to fix their awful, sloppy mistakes, even paint on the floor, if you can believe it. Well, with CertaPro Painters, you get the best in the business. The attention to detail, color selection is truly unmatched. And now is the perfect time to get the interior of your home or business painted. The lower humidity provides an ideal environment for great coverage and quick drying times. They use fine quality paints with 0 or low VOCs, very little to no odor during application. Be an early bird and cross the first item off your 2018 to-do list. It's also the perfect time to spruce up your commercial property. Remember, each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
I want to tell you about a product that I've been using for the past 3 months that I love and that you should know about. It's called Calitrin. And here's the thing. I started using it after the holidays to shed a few pounds, and I've already seen it work for that, but there are so many other amazing side benefits. I'm sleeping better, I've got more energy, and my joint pain has been reduced. And here with me now is Elizabeth from Calitrin with this amazing offer.
Yes, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Amy. Yes, you're exactly right. Calitrin is a supplement that is good for you. You're giving your body back exactly what it needs to rev up your metabolism naturally by building up that lean muscle tissue. And if you have any weight to lose or you just want to see the side benefits, you can go to toploss.com. You can use promo code Amy and save 10% on your order today. That's at toploss.com. Or you can order by phone. The number is 1-800-325-4366.
You have no excuse not to try Calitrin. Ladies, swimsuit season will be here before you know it. Calitrin is a great long-term solution to take the weight off and keep it off. Thanks, Elizabeth.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, CPA.com.
You want to go to Italy, but not on a pre-packaged tour. You want something more real. You want to do what you love in Italy. To gather with friends, your beloved family, a big table, in your own private villa in Tuscany. It's easier than you think. DoWhatYouLoveInItaly.com is a small company with 8 villas to choose from, all in the most beautiful and culturally interesting countryside of Tuscany. For the cost of a hotel, you can rent a private, centuries-old villa with pool, gardens, and classic Tuscan views. Grandparents, kids, and grandchildren, groups of friends, your family, together in one of our gorgeous Italian villas in the heart of Tuscany. They are called Do What You Love in Italy because they help you to do what you love in Italy. See the 8 villas waiting for you at dowhatyouloveInItaly.com. Do what you love in Italy.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads now. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Eisenhower is gummed up from York to St. Charles. Crash there in the right lane. Looking at 39 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound, it's 33 minutes with the Gapers delay for the Tri-State to St. Charles. Edens is good. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Locals Express, the same. Earlier express lane crash cleared for Ohio. Stevenson, looking at 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Crash past LaGrange Road. Outbound, 34 minutes. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes. I-80 to the Murray Division 420. Worked on Tri-State heavy approaching 290. Traffic service of Staples. Staples has low prices on the organizational solutions your business needs to clear the clutter and focus on the job at hand this year, like bankers boxes, file folders, and storage bins. Less mess equals more success. Visit staples.com for more. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Winter storm warning in effect 6 p.m. this evening till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Today, mostly cloudy, high 22, 3 to 6 inches of snow tonight, low 18, temperatures rising into the middle 20s, snow accumulating 4 to 8 inches tomorrow, high 28. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
9 at O'Hare, the news, a service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing the books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 5:59, here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. A winter storm warning goes into effect from 6 this evening until 6 p.m. on Friday. 10 former students and employees of Northwestern University's journalism school are accusing a prominent professor of harassment and bullying. School officials are confirming that the Secret Service was on campus at Waukegan High School this week, part of an investigation. The Chicago man is behind bars after allegedly trying to sell undercover police officers counterfeit tickets to the Duke, North Carolina basketball game. Blackhawks and Stars meet tonight at the UC. College hoops, DePaul fell to Creighton. Over in the Valley, Loyola wins number 20, a win over Drake. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
They only have 17 hours to get it done. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Senate plans a vote on a bipartisan spending plan to fund the government beyond tonight. It includes a 2-year agreement to increase spending for defense and domestic programs.
The best thing we've done for our economy, our military, our middle class, for a long time.
Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, but there's also bipartisan opposition in the House.
Republicans may need help from Democrats to pass the bill, as fiscal conservatives like Congressman Mo Brooks balk over sharp increases in both military and domestic spending.
Unfortunately, those who vote for this bill are betraying our country's future.
Democrats want a fix for DACA attached to the spending bill.
Let us thank and acknowledge the Dreamers for their courage, their optimism, their inspiration.
House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi used a special privilege called the Magic Minute to speak for 8 hours on the House floor, reading stories about Dreamers. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
Vice President Pence has arrived in South Korea, assuring that country's president,
the United States of America will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder in our effort to bring maximum pressure to bear on North Korea.
Pence continues to focus on the nuclear threat as he plans to attend the Olympics, where the North will participate. North Korea's leader held a military parade and rally today, calling his country a global military power. Now, the vice president was supposed to join President Trump at the National Prayer Breakfast this morning, but he's been replaced by an NFL player.
More than 3,500 people expected at the 66th annual National Prayer Breakfast at the Washington Hilton, where the president, in keeping with tradition, gives a speech along with another speaker. The This year, it's Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Wentz has a busy day. Later, he'll return to Philadelphia for the Eagles Super Bowl parade. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Diana's hired with Indeed.
It just gives me so many more qualified applicants to choose from.
Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179 or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility.
President of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Heard Saturdays at noon right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, with each passing day, at the look at how the FBI and the Obama White House behaved in 2016, our friend Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor who writes at National Review, looks more and more correct. This from a January piece that McCarthy wrote. From the first, these columns have argued that the whitewash of the Hillary Clinton emails caper was President Obama's call, not the FBI's and not the Justice Department's. The decision was inevitable. Obama, using a pseudonym email account, had repeatedly communicated with Secretary Clinton over her private, non-secure email account. If Clinton had been charged, Obama's culpable involvement would have been patent in any prosecution of Clinton. The Clinton-Obama emails, which ostensibly contain classified information, would have been in the spotlight. And President Obama sat for an interview with Chris Wallace, Fox News, back before, this was months before Jim Comey makes his July announcement that there will be no criminal prosecution of Hillary Clinton. And this is what President Obama said.
Mr. President, when you say what you've just said, when Josh Earnest said, as he did, your spokesman, in January, the information from the Justice Department is she's not a target, some people, I think, are worried whether or not the decision, whether or not how to handle the case will be made on political grounds, not legal grounds. Can you guarantee to the American people, can you direct the Justice Department to say Hillary Clinton will be treated as the evidence goes, she will not be in any way protected?
I can guarantee that. And I can guarantee that not because I give Attorney General Lynch a directive. That is institutionally how we have always operated. I do not talk to the Attorney General about pending investigations. I do not talk to FBI directors about pending investigations. We have a strict line and always have maintained it, previous presidents.
Just to button this up.
I guarantee it. I guarantee that there is no political influence in any investigation conducted by the Justice Department or the FBI, not just in this case, but in any case.
And she will be
full stop, period.
And she will be treated no differently?
Guaranteed, full stop. Nobody gets treated differently when it comes to the Justice Department because nobody is above the law.
Even if she ends up as the Democratic nominee?
How many times do I have to say it, Chris? Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Wow.
Was that guarantee honored, do you think? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Important statement that Obama made. Never talked to FBI directors about this.
Yeah, and that is in stark contrast to what the text message actually says, the one that was sent between Stokes and Page on September 2nd, 2016, about having to prep the FBI director because POTUS, quote, wants to know everything we're doing. Oh, my God. It's big news.
So let's speak to what we know. So that text message that you referred to between Strzok and Page doesn't automatically mean that Obama was up to no good. It does not. But here's the thing. Ron Johnson, senator from Wisconsin, and his colleagues on Senate Homeland Security Committee have been slowly prying more of those text messages out of Justice. Here's what Johnson said about the new tranche of text messages. Although sometimes cryptic and disjointed due to their nature, these text messages raise several questions about the FBI and its investigation of classified information on Secretary Clinton's private email server. Strzok and Page discussed serving to, quote, protect the country from the menace, unquote, of Trump, quote, enablers, unquote, and the possibility of an insurance policy against the risk of a Trump presidency. The two discussed then Attorney General Loretta Lynch, knowing that Secretary Clinton would not face charges, before the FBI interviewed Secretary Clinton, and before her announcement that she would accept Director Comey's prosecution decision. She knew. That's my parenthetical remark. They wrote about drafting talking points for then Director Comey because President Obama, quote, wants to know everything we're doing, quote. Talking points for Comey. Strzok and Page also exchanged views about the investigation on possible Russian collusion with the Trump campaign, calling it unfinished business, and an investigation leading to impeachment, drawing parallels to Watergate, and expressing Strzok's gut sense and concern there's no big there. So President Obama has now entered this drama, and whether or not he was briefed about this by then FBI Director Comey, it sure seems like Strzok and Page thought President Obama was going to be briefed on this by Comey.
Well, if you look at the string of text messages, outbox, I can tell you why you're having that meeting. No, what do you think? Well, POTUS wants to know everything we are doing. And a reply. I'm sure an honest answer will come out of that meeting.
Well, here's the thing.
Now it makes me think that President Obama knew that former President Clinton and Loretta Lynch were meeting on that plane on the tarmac in Phoenix.
Well, the argument is, the Andy McCarthy argument is, which becomes more and more compelling, as I said, with each passing day and new information being unearthed, is that this was always about Obama. And you couldn't prosecute Hillary Clinton because you were going to drag the president into it. So Comey holds the press conference on July 5th, 2016, describing Hillary's criminal conduct, but recommending against an indictment. We now know, of course, that his remarks had been in the works for at least 2 months and were revised several times before by his directors and advisors, including Strzok, his involvement there. According to, again, Senator Johnson, Ron Johnson, 5 days before Comey delivered the final version, there was a passage in his remarks that expressly referred to a troublesome email exchange between Clinton and Obama. This was in the one of the drafts of Comey's statements. The phrase, here's the 2 sentences. She also used her personal email extensively while outside the United States, including from the territory of sophisticated adversaries, talking about Russia. That use included an email exchange with the president while Secretary Clinton was on the territory of such an adversary. The president, in a subsequent draft, was replaced with another senior government official, which, because that would have prompted questions, well, who is that senior government official? That was replaced by deleting the reference altogether, the final version being including sending and receiving work-related emails in the territory of sophisticated adversaries. No reference to the president, no reference to senior government official, just didn't want to deal with it because it was about protecting Obama from being dragged in. Also, Obama had his email communications with Clinton sealed. He did this by invoking presidential records privilege.
Oh.
So, and of course the media is, there's no scrutiny for Obama there. He sidesteps disclosure without acknowledging the emails contain classified information, and he avoids using the, kind of loaded term executive privilege. Meanwhile, Attorney General Loretta Lynch orders Comey to use the word matter in his statement rather than investigation to describe the FBI's probe of Clinton email practices. Then Obama's in a nationally televised interview basically saying he didn't want Clinton to be indicted. His rationale, Clinton had not intended to harm national security. And what did Comey present in July of 2016? The intent standard that isn't contained in the actual law. Andy McCarthy's words now, all cleaned up, no indictment, meaning no prosecution, meaning no disclosure of Clinton-Obama emails. It all worked like a charm, except the part where Mrs. Clinton wins the presidency and the problem is never spoken again.
I love one of the emails that were from Lisa Page, one of the text message. She texted to her lover, I bought all the president's men, figure I need to brush up on Watergate. That was November 13th, 2016. Yeah. You think they don't have a plan in place?
Trey Gowdy, in his exit interview with Martha McCallum, Trey Gowdy, of course, the Republican, another former prosecutor from South Carolina who's leaving Congress, he talked about the dossier and the investigation and what he knows that we don't know yet. And who, then other names that ultimately may also be made public that are going to be very interesting to the public.
So Chairman Nunes, who you worked with on this memo, has suggested that there's a lot more to come and that the investigation continues. It looks like the next place that you all are looking at is the State Department during the Obama administration. We know that there was a criminal referral that was made by Senators Graham and Grassley. In it, it includes this. The foreign source gave information to an unnamed associate of Hillary and Bill Clinton, who then gave information to an unnamed official in the Obama State Department, who then gave the information to Steele. What do you know about that?
Everything that there is to know about it, and I've known about it for over a month. If you go and read the documents at the Department of Justice, you see it. I'm troubled by it. It is one reason I have tremendous respect for Michael Horowitz, who's the Inspector General of the Department of Justice. It's one reason that I reject the notion that the IG himself alone can investigate the Department of Justice, because there is a State Department component to this. It needs to be investigated. I don't view the investigation in terms of stages. To me, it's just one continuous investigation in pursuit of all relevant facts leading towards the truth. I'm pretty troubled by what I read in the documents with respect to the role the State Department played in the fall of 2016, with including information that was used in a court proceeding. I am troubled by it.
So weeks before the election, somebody in the Obama State Department was feeding information from a foreign source to Christopher Steele.
When you hear who the source, or one of the sources of that information is, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I've heard that name somewhere before. Where could it possibly have been? And
the foreign source?
The domestic source. And I'm trying to think how Secretary Clinton defined him. I think she said he was an old friend who emailed her from time to time.
Sidney Blumenthal?
That'd be really warm. You're warm. Yeah.
Sidney Blumenthal, Hillary Clinton attaché, Clinton Foundation consultant, left-wing journalist. I think he's now at Media Matters. But he was her kind of shadowy, lurking consigliere during her time in the State Department. We talked about him most notably with respect to Benghazi, because he was doing spin for Hillary Clinton in the wake of the 2012 attack on the Benghazi compound, where Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans were murdered. And then, of course, they whitewashed that. So he's part of all of this, too. The Grassley memo, the Chuck Grassley unredacted memo, again, Senator from Iowa, Chuck Grassley, it makes clear that Christopher Steele lied to the FBI about his media contacts, and even after the FBI knew Steele was the source of the media stories, they lied to the FISA court about this and still proffered the Yahoo article to the court. I mean, the FBI was still claiming to the FISA court Steele hadn't talked to the media when they knew he had. They did this during each of the 3 renewals of the warrant. Devin Nunes, it's just, this is remarkable. And the kind of shoulder shrug we're getting from the D.C. press corps about these revelations is really remarkable to watch. The same people who, think of themselves in the context of all the president's men, that someday Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford will play them for their great, journalistic accomplishments. They are sitting on their hands while incredibly provocative and disturbing information about the President of the United States, I'm talking about President Obama, the FBI under Jim Comey, Justice under Loretta Lynch, and the State Department under Hillary Clinton is being unearthed. And nary a question to be had other than, Martha McCallum to Trey Gowdy and Rush Limbaugh yesterday, who had Devin Nunes on the program. And Devin Nunes, of course, he's the subject of character assassination now because they've got to discredit him, and he's ready for it.
With people saying, you better not make the FBI mad, they could really come out and do you damage or come... Doesn't that kind of validate what's already going on? If we have people advocating that the FBI be used as a weapon against political opponents?
Yeah, so those days are over, Rush. That is what they did in the Obama administration. These institutions became corrupt at the top. And it's because it's not just the FBI. I mean, it's all of the departments who became just out of control. I mean, do we have to go back to Lois Lerner and the IRS and all of those games that were played? And what's happening here is that for the first time in a long time, Congress, which is a separate branch of government, we created the FBI.
Right.
We created the Department of Justice.
You can abolish them if you want to.
And that we could abolish them, we could cut their money off, but the bottom line is this, is I said, we're done. You crossed the Rubicon, you abused the FISA court, and, I had to fight for these documents for months and months and months. We issued the original subpoenas back in August of last year, and it took until just a few weeks ago for us to finally put all the pieces together. So, I'm not going to take their crap. I'm not going to be threatened. They tried to do an in run around me, and Speaker Paul Ryan said, no, the Congress is going to exert our authority. And so, look, I believe between the Congress conducting proper oversight and with President Trump trying to drain the swamp, I believe we will get this corrected. But the longer it takes for them to admit they have a problem, the harder it's going to be to fix this.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, is the White House defending a wife beater? One of the most important players in the Oval Office resigns. But first, here's your forecast, and you're going to want to pay attention because things are going to be changing around here. Today, mostly cloudy, cold, a high of 22. But tonight, the snow begins to fall anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. And then tomorrow, we're going to have snow on and off throughout the day, 48 inches. So storm totals by tomorrow, 8 inches to a foot of snow, a high of 28 degrees. Then more snow on Saturday. And finally, the sun will come out on Sunday. All right, sounds good. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection's Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Well, Amy and Dan, the inbound Eisenhower is jammed. 83 to St. Charles. The truck crashed, fuel spill there. Everything's moved to the right shoulder, but it's 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 20 from Manheim. Outbound 42 minutes to 390. Most of that is Gapers delay from the Reagan Tollway to St. Charles. Edens is 21 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, scattered delays now, 27 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Stevenson, with a crash near LaGrange Road, having cleared, you can get 54 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 42 from the Tri-State. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 28 minutes, 8094 to the merge. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey! The cold is here and the snow is coming, a foot of snow. So why don't you book your trip now to go to Riviera Maya with Dan and I for our annual Passport to Paradise trip. It is presented by our very good friends over there at Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling and by Joe Cotton Ford. We'll be staying at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. It's just a quick trip from the airport, about 20 minutes. And it's a gorgeous property, 9 gourmet restaurants, 6 bars, unlimited premium drinks. There's golfing. There's scuba diving. I've got a day planned. I have some listeners already coming with so we can scuba dive off of Cozumel. And you're really going to have the time of your life. The property is situated on Maroma Beach, which is one of the world's best beaches. So join us and book your trip by going to 560theanswer.com/passport. Apple Vacations has secured a great price for us for this trip, but it won't last forever. And from now until February 9th, which is tomorrow, you can enter a chance to win a trip for 2 by downloading and launching the AM 560 mobile app. Just go to 560theanswer.com/mobile to get the mobile app and enter to win this trip. But don't miss your chance to escape the cold and the snow of Chicago and spend a week with us in paradise. Go to 560theanswer.com/passport.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Now that I've got your attention, my name is Jeannie Ives, and I'm the conservative running against Bruce Rauner for governor. I'm an economic liberty, pro-family West Point grad. I've spent the last 5 years battling Chicago Democrats. I didn't think I'd have to spend so much time battling Bruce Rauner. But when Rauner betrayed conservative families, that's exactly what I did. Rauner made Illinois a sanctuary state. I voted against it. Rauner made you pay for abortions in all 9 months of pregnancy. I voted against it, and so did every other Republican legislator. Rauner took money from your schools to bail out the Chicago public schools. I voted against it. National Review has called Rauner the worst Republican governor in the country because he is. Rauner betrayed us. I honor who we are as conservatives. Rauner can't win re-election. He said he's not in charge. With your help, I'll lead the charge.
Paid for by Ives for Illinois.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. 3 seconds a day, that's all it takes to finally surpass your weight loss goals. With Calitrin, it's seriously so easy.
My name is Melissa. I've been taking Calitrin and I've lost 22 pounds.
This is Dixie from Bell Fountain, Ohio. I ended up losing 28 pounds and about 6 inches.
Hi, this is Susan. I take Calitrin. I've lost about 60 pounds.
Hi, I'm Alex Trevino from Austin, and I've been on Calitrin now for a little while and lost 40 pounds. Went from a size 51 waist to a size 42 and never felt better in my life. It's the best thing that I've ever taken. I've tried it this market, and nothing has beat or compared to this at all. I would highly recommend it.
If you're ready to have your own success story, you can join the hundreds of thousands who have lost weight with the #1 healthy choice for weight loss. Just go to toploss.com to check out Calitrin for yourself or call 1-800-325-4366. Again, that's toploss.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Have you read this interview Quincy Jones gave in Vulture?
Yeah, I thought he had dated or gone on a date or to dinner with Ivana Trump. It was Ivanka Trump, and he said that she has the sexiest legs in all of the world, but he doesn't like her father. He had some colorful language about her dad.
Yeah, Quincy Jones saying Trump is a crazy MFer, limited mentally, a megalomaniac, narcissistic.
Or there's that, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He also said, among other things, Quincy Jones held court on a range of issues. Sam Giancana killed JFK.
Oh, really?
Marlon Brando.
Oh, are you going to tell that story?
Marlon Brando
Please don't.
had affairs with Marvin Gaye, Richard Pryor, and James Baldwin.
James Baldwin, too, really?
Quincy Jones saying that Brando would blank anything, he'd blank a mailbox. Richard Pryor's widow
confirmed
the relationship between Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando, saying it was the 70s, drugs were still good, especially Quaaludes. If you did enough cocaine, you'd blank a radiator and send it flowers in the morning.
She went on to say, too, that they were lovers.
Well, yeah, this is a pretty graphic statement about them being lovers, I would suggest. That being lovers is tame.
But it was drug-infused evenings.
Okay. All right. Well, the things you didn't know and never perhaps wanted to know about Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor.
I think they're both happy that they're not on the planet when this information came out. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, is the White House defending a wife beater? We'll discuss. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Cloudy and 10 degrees. The Senate expected to vote later today on a bipartisan 2-year budget deal.
The compromise we've reached will ensure that for the first time in years, our armed forces will have more of the resources they need to keep America safe.
The budget would substantially raise spending for defense and domestic programs, White House spokesman Sarah Sanders.
It also ensures funding for our other critical priorities, including rebuilding America's crumbling infrastructure, tackling the opioids epidemic, and taking care of our great veterans.
The Senate expected to pass that budget, then send it to the House where it faces some major mountains. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly says he was shocked when he heard allegations of domestic violence against one of President Trump's top aides. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders says Staff Secretary Rob Porter issued a statement about the accusations of domestic abuse.
I've been transparent and truthful about these vile claims, but I will not further engage publicly with a coordinated smear campaign.
Porter resigned yesterday after claims surfaced that he abused his two ex-wives. A Texas police officer is dead after being shot while responding to a disturbance call in a Dallas suburb. Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz will deliver the keynote speech at this morning's National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, standing in for Vice President Mike Pence, who's on his way to opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics in South Korea. A winter storm warning is in effect beginning at 6 this evening until 6 p.m. on Friday, and a storm system that could bring the area as much as 9 inches of snow, more than a foot by Saturday afternoon. A 9-year-old girl is safe this morning after she went missing on the northwest side. Angelica Williams has been located and reunited with her family after disappearing yesterday. School officials are confirming that the Secret Service was on campus at Waukegan High School this week. Their presence was part of an investigation not initiated by the school district. Governor Rauner's administration is requiring state lawmakers to jump through a public records law hoop before turning over emails about deadly Legionnaire's disease outbreaks at the Illinois Veterans Home in Quincy. Public Health Director Dr. Nirva Shah went before the House Senate Veterans Affairs Committee yesterday. Chicago sports, Blackhawks and Stars will meet tonight. College hoops, DePaul fell to Creighton in the Valley. Win number 20 for Loyola. They beat Drake 72-57. In the Big Ten, number 14 Ohio State upset number 3 Purdue, and number 1 goes down as St. John's beat top-ranked Villanova. The news, a service of Accountemps, finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:34, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes kids should take a year before going to college.
I have advocated to parents that they not send their child to college right after high school. The ideal is to work for a year, especially as a waiter or waitress. I think that it has a built-in conservatism because reality is conservative.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
A bad cold and flu season is upon us. The main difference between them is the flu brings a fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
Abilify, Wellbutrin, Seroquel, Rexulti. These drugs are commonly prescribed for depression treatment. 2018 can be the year you win the war on depression.
New year, new you.
Drugs for depression can be dangerous, have side effects, and really just mask the problem. TMS therapy treats the source of your depression. Cure or remission is here. HBR centers are proud to bring TMS therapy to Chicagoland and Milwaukee. Millions have been treated, and the results are outstanding.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive.
How does it work? TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate mood centers, causing long-term medication-free relief. It's FDA cleared and covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare. Make the call, ask questions, bring an end to your depression. HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Eisenhower is jammed 83 to St. Charles. Cleanup continues after a truck crash and fuel spill. The right lane is blocked again. It is 55 minutes, 390 to downtown, 23 from Mannheim. Additional delays from Mannheim to Harlem outbound. It is 18 minutes to Mannheim, 42 to 390. Eden's inbound slow. Niles Center to Montrose, 26 minutes. Lake Cook to the Junction, outbound 19. Kennedy, 27 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Stevenson, now 58 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Crash past California in the right lane, outbound 35 minutes. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 33. Traffic is a service of Staples. Let Staples help you this tax season with everything you need for less. From storage boxes and filing supplies to software like QuickBooks and TurboTax. Right now, get up to $15 off when you buy TurboTax. Ends 2/17/18. Excludes TurboTax Basic. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Cloudy, very cold today. High 22. Snow kicks in around 6. That winter storm warning goes into effect. 3 to 6 inches overnight with a low of 18. Another 4 to 8 inches of snow tomorrow. A high near 28. Currently, it is 9 above. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And so, got a problem at senior level in the White House, and that problem's name is Rob Porter. And that problem arguably was slow to be dealt with, but it's been dealt with now.
Well, it has been brought to the White House's attention. The problem is who knew what and when, but Rob Porter allegedly beat his 2 former ex-wives. And here's one. Her name is Jennifer Willoughby.
So he came and grabbed me by the shoulders here and pulled me out of the shower in a rage.
Excuse the music behind that, but she basically described, she was in the shower one time, they were fighting, she decided to disengage, take some, peace in the shower, and he went in and grabbed her out of the shower to continue the argument.
And we should make notes, and Rob Porter, not exactly a household name, he's White House staff secretary. So he plays an important role in terms of the inner workings of the Oval Office and senior staff in the White House, and works closely with Chief of Staff and other senior officials.
Yeah, and so at the same time when she's saying he's dangerous, she released the picture of the black eye. I'm sure you've seen that. It's plastered all over cable news this morning. She also complimented him on the work that he's done in the White House. Listen to this.
I'm not at all surprised that people who work with him in a professional capacity see him as a model of discretion and integrity and character. Because like I mentioned, I believe that he is. And I think professionally, he is intelligent and he is measured and he is certainly someone that I would trust in that professional position. And in his personal life, he is also abusive and angry.
Well, it's American Psycho. It's what somebody in a professional setting versus somebody in a private setting. I mean, how many instances of this do we have to see to understand the two can be different? You had, Mr. Huxtable turned out not to be Mr.
Right.
Huxtable.
No, that's true.
The examples, Kevin Spacey, the examples are plentiful.
But the problem is that White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, immediately hearing the news, called him a man of true integrity and honor, and that he's been effective in his position, and that he has the full confidence of the president. And then late last night, they released a second statement saying that Kelly said, I was shocked by the new allegations released today against Rob Porter. There's no place for domestic violence in our society. I stand by my previous comments of the Rob Porter that I have come to know since becoming Chief of Staff and believe every individual deserves the right to defend their reputation. I accept his resignation and will ensure a swift and orderly transition.
So Porter not admitting to prior bad acts. He's saying the allegations are false, but of course he's resigning because of the optics and the seriousness of the allegations, and frankly, the credibility of the accusers.
So do you think that the White House was defending a wife beater? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Or do you think, because John Kelly did not see the pictures of the alleged abuse until after he released his initial comments.
Well, his initial comment, too, about his perspective on Porter's professional conduct based on his interactions with him was prior to the second wife making the accusations as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. But the left isn't saying it that way.
Well,
the left
I'm
is
just
saying that they're
well, of
defending
course.
a wife beater. Sarah Sanders, she,
And by the
tackled
way,
this topic.
it's worth noting that at present, Porter is dating Hope Hicks, the White House comm director.
Yeah, and if you look at a picture of Hope Hicks and his second wife, Jennifer, they are carbon copies of each other. It is unbelievable. Here's Sarah Sanders.
I can tell you that Rob has been an effective in his role as staff secretary, and the president and chief of staff have had full confidence and trust in his abilities and his performance. These outrageous allegations are simply false. I took the photos given to the media nearly 15 years ago, and the reality behind them is nowhere close to what is being described. I've been transparent and truthful about these vile claims, but I will not further engage publicly with a coordinated smear campaign. My commitment to public service speaks for itself. I've always put duty to country first and treated others with respect. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to have served in the Trump administration and will seek to ensure a smooth transition when I leave the White House.
That's the statement from Rob
Right.
that Sarah Sanders wrote. But
So he's disputing the picture was his doing and that he disclosed this 15 years ago to the media. I mean, I have no idea the veracity of that statement, but that's what he's saying.
But there was, there was something, what do you call it? A restraining order filed against him in 2010 because she was his then wife Jennifer was trying to leave him.
Yeah,
So she
but
filed a restraining order, and that's why he couldn't get FBI clearance.
yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, the multiple accusers telling a similar story, and I think there's a third accuser, isn't there?
Yeah, a girlfriend who sought help from the two former ex-wives to figure out how to leave him.
So that always gets, that raises the stakes, and it starts to create real questions. But I mean, kind of a restraining order in the context of a divorce or allegations of abuse in the context of a divorce. I mean, those always have to be properly scrutinized because that's an easy place for either side to go to muddy up the other side. And I don't know if you know this, Amy, but sometimes divorces aren't pleasant.
Oh, they aren't?
Yeah.
Oh, and then you throw in children, too, and it gets a lot uglier. No, I know. And then when you're grieving, you do things out of character, and sometimes you say things that you shouldn't have said and allege things that maybe shouldn't have been alleged against other people. But, again, they knew that they knew that it was here. It was on record. And the White House didn't do anything, especially in this Me Too, movement that we're living through right now, that some are suffering through. They should have been more proactive and either reassigned him or done something. I just think they had some egg on their face.
If they didn't know about the second accuser until the second wife until she presented herself, then. What is it they should have done exactly?
The third accuser contacted the White House to say I don't know how to leave him. I'm in an abusive relationship.
But he's gone after the second accuser. So I'm sorry. So what should the White House have done? I mean, you're saying that basically you're saying they should have never hired him in the first place because of the previous accusation. But he disputes the previous accusation, and
well, then how did she get a black eye, Rob Porter? Then tell us if you didn't give her that black eye, would she fall down and go boom, hit herself on a bedpost or something?
Well, I mean, is it impossible to get a black eye other than at the hands of another man, or of a man? Is that impossible?
Car accident. No, I just think since there are two women that have come forward, and the way he treated this goes on and on. It's in the Daily Mail about how on their honeymoon he called her a effing blah blah blah. And
so if he didn't get FBI clearance because this was known with respect to his initial kind of security check to be a White House staff secretary. Mm-hmm. So then, ostensibly, somebody knew about that, briefed on that.
He shouldn't have been in the Oval Office to begin with.
Well, based on an allegation for which he was never charged criminally and in the context of a divorce, and maybe there's other factors that we don't know in terms of the relative credibility of the two. Now, in light of multiple accusers, that, as I said, raises the bar. But I'm not exactly sure that this is something where you could convincingly argue that the White House was covering anything up or running interference for a domestic abuser based on what they knew prior to the second accuser.
All right. Everybody was wondering, too, how he got that job. Well, he's Massachusetts-born, Harvard grad, and he went to Ivy League schools with Jared Kushner. So he's friends with Jared. That's why he got into the position that he's in.
Well, I think there's some other professional background that suggests
his
that,
father, Roger, was an aide to George H.W. Bush.
Yeah, so there's other factors that suggest a professional competency to have that position, and also you have the White House Chief of Staff suggesting he was competent. So it's not just because he's a FOJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He may also be, Christian Bale, an American psycho. So I'm not discounting that possibility. I'm just trying to lay out the facts.
And people can be a lot different at work than they are at home, because both ex-wives when the door shut, he became a monster, and he became so angry, and he couldn't control his rage.
Well,
and I just want to know if Hope Hicks is going to break up with him. What do you think, Dan? Do you think that couple's going to make it? Now that they don't work together, there might be a little tension on the relationship.
Well, the other thing is, seriously, I wonder what Hope. Without turning this into a People magazine story, I wonder what Hope Hicks knew. Yep. And based on the allegations that have been now leveled by multiple women, if she starts to see him in a new light. It's one of those things. You don't know what you don't know. And now she's got to make an assessment based on the seriousness of the allegations that are being lodged against her boyfriend, I would say.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
All three of them look exactly alike. Today, cloudy, cold, a high of 22 degrees. And tonight, it begins. The winter storm will be upon us. Tonight, 3 to 6 inches, depending on where you live. And then tomorrow, snow on and off all day. 4 to 8 inches on top of what we're going to get tomorrow night. We could have anywhere from 8 inches to a foot of snow before it's all said and done. Oh, but wait, on Saturday, another 1 to 3 inches. So keep on shoveling. Let's go into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy and Dan, traffic's a solid mess right now on the Eisenhower inbound Wooddale Road to St. Charles. The right lane is blocked. Clean up an earlier crash and fuel spill. It's 1 hour from 390 to downtown, 32 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 27 minutes to Manheim, 50 to 390. Eden's 30 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 21. Kennedy, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound 32 to the airport. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Crash at Western of the right lane, outbound 36 minutes. Bryan, 26 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the Merch Vision Ford, 40 to the stall at the Steel Bridge in the left lane. The only tollway with the delay is northbound Tri-State. So 115th to the 83rd Street toll from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Reagan tollway to the Ike. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Get your tickets for Beyond the Talking Points on Thursday, March 22nd. That's when I will go one-on-one with Donna Brazile, former chair of the DNC and campaign manager for Al Gore. We're going to sit down for an extended conversation about the big issues facing the country, everything from immigration to healthcare, from tax reform to government spending. And, of course, we'll talk about the Trump administration and its accomplishments thus far. And in case you were unsure, Donna Brazile and I don't agree on almost any of these things, so it's sure to be a lively debate. It's me and Donna Brazile, March 22nd in Rolling Meadows. Tickets are selling briskly, so get yours today. Just go to 560theanswer.com/beyond. Again, 560theanswer.com/beyond.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. President Trump yearns for the good old days, and Harley-Davidson is recalling 175,000 U.S. motorcycles. Those stories next.
You like freedom? I do. You like money? Well, I do too. If you like freedom and money, then you're going to love Freedom Checks. You see, over the next few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard that right, $34.6 billion. To get all the details, just go to www.myfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. And if Doug can do this, I've got a hunch that you can too. But here's the thing. If you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion payout, you must have your ducks in a row by March 1st. So don't wait. Get over to www.myfreedomchecks.com before the March 1st deadline. That's www.myfreedomchecks.com.
Breaking his silence on the recent wild swings on Wall Street, President Trump says in the good old days when good news was reported, stocks would go up. Today, when good news is reported, stocks go down. He pointed to the sharp drop last Friday, the same day it was reported that 200,000 new jobs have been created and that wages are growing at the fastest pace in 8 years. Iconic motorcycle manufacturer Harley-Davidson is recalling over 250,900 choppers worldwide, including 175,000 here in the U.S. because their brakes might fail. The recall follows reports of crashes and injuries. Economic reports due out today include the latest jobless claims, chain store sales, and the Consumer Comfort Index. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Trust, trust, trust. Yes, I said trust 3 times because I want to tell you about a recent AM 560 charity benefactor and company that built their business and reputation over 3 decades by being trustworthy. I'm talking about Dependable Construction and founder Joe Barron. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing is Joe's specialty. Joe started as a laborer, then progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Dependable Construction has grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Barron. So call Joe at Dependable Construction today. Mention AM 560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091 or visit tuckpointchicago.net. tuckpointchicago.net.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7 along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. Stay warm this winter. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for winter storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Ament, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Ament and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Ament needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, all right, we got a couple calls about the story about Rob Porter, the White House secretary.
Staff secretary.
Staff secretary, right? Steve in Hinsdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. But, these allegations are 13 years old. I'm so tired of this stuff. And you know what else I'm tired of, Dan? Me Too. What is that all about? You know what else I'm tired of? The Olympics already. It hasn't even started. And now we're talking about this gay figure skater that won't meet with Mr. Pence. Do me a favor. Tony Granato, Downers Grove North, man, it's the coach of the hockey team, University of Wisconsin coach. So let's have a story about him. There's a lot I'm sick about this morning. Have a great day.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for the call, Steve.
They've only had one competition, the curling competition last night.
I hope that was cathartic for Steve in Hinsdale.
And opening ceremonies tomorrow. I can't wait.
I'm interested Kim Jong-un's sister is going to be there.
Yeah, first time anybody in their dictatorship has visited South Korea. Maybe she'll stay.
Yeah, she could defect. That
or
would be
maybe she has
interesting.
a husband and they're holding him hostage. If you don't come back, we'll kill him.
I hate to break it to Steve from Hinsdale, but Sheryl Sandberg, the chief operating officer of Facebook, of course, and the what's that other one? The word you can't say. She's the word you can't say with Condi Rice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm having a brain fart.
So
I'm sorry. I said
it's such
sorry.
a terrible phrase. Ugh. That's another phrase you shouldn't say.
Thanks, Dad.
She said Me Too movement hasn't gone far enough.
Oh, really? It hasn't. Okay.
If the Me Too, because it can't just be a moment in time where people raise their voice. These brave women who have raised their voices, they want long-standing changes. So, Steve, you better buckle up.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The Ministry of Loneliness.
Oh,
yeah.
The Dan Proft story.
When should we open the Ministry of Loneliness in Illinois at 7:07?
But first, let's go to the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, Chicagoland bracing for a winter storm, a serial stowaway to remain behind bars. Blackhawks will host the Stars later tonight. Cloudy, very cold day ahead of that snow. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
The Senate's a yes, but what about the House? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I'm not only a no, I'm a hell no.
Republican Mo Brooks, among a group of House conservatives opposed to the bipartisan 2-year agreement senators plan to approve before government funding runs out. They don't like the increase in domestic program spending tied to the boost in military funding. House Democrats have a different issue. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, Democrats want protections for illegal immigrants brought here as children included in the legislation. Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi took the House floor for 8 hours to call attention to Dreamers. Dreamers.
I had no intention of yielding back, Mr. Speaker. I have a lot more.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, says Pelosi was grandstanding.
I'm not sure what she got out of it, except a lot of criticism from Democratic members today and also from Dreamers.
Pelosi used a little-known privilege called the Magic Minute to launch the talkathon. The speech broke a record set in 1909 when Congressman Champ Clark spoke about tariffs for more than 5 hours. Dave.
Rachel, the day before the Olympics start, Vice President Pence is in South Korea meeting with the president discussing
our shared objective of the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
This as North Korea, which will participate in the Olympics, held a military parade and a rally. Leader Kim Jong-un got red carpet treatment, calling for a high level of combat readiness against the U.S. President Trump will soon address religious and political leaders at the National Prayer Breakfast. Another speaker, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. He'll then head back to Philly for the Super Bowl victory parade. Fans have been lined up for hours. Fox's Jillian Mealy's there.
Are you cold?
Yes.
What time did you get here?
3:30.
3:30 in the morning? Is your dad crazy for bringing you out here?
No.
No? Why did you want to come out here with him?
We've been lifelong Philadelphians, and we just can't wait to enjoy the day with the city.
And the parade starts in about 3 hours. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
10 degrees above, cloudy skies at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A winter storm warning in effect from 6 this evening until just about 6 p.m. on Friday. National Weather Service says overnight 3 to 6 inches of snow will fall and another 4 to 8 inches of snow all day on Friday. It includes Chicago, the suburbs, Rockford, Ottawa, northwest Indiana, even parts of central and southern Illinois will be brushed with that snow. A 9-year-old girl is safe this morning. She went missing on the northwest side yesterday. Angelika Williams has been located and reunited with her family. She was last seen near North and Cicero. 10 former students and employees of Northwestern University's journalism school are accusing a prominent professor of harassment and bullying. It was an open letter that was released yesterday by the group listing numerous complaints against Alec Klein, a professor at the Medill School of Journalism. A homeless couple who had crews repeatedly move their tents are suing the city of Chicago, saying they are protected by Illinois state law. The Tribune reports Amy Smith and Sean Moore say in their Cook County lawsuit, the city violated the Illinois Bill of Rights for the Homeless Act. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says his nation will not be pushed into a redo of the North American Free Trade Agreement. Trudeau spoke yesterday at the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics.
We will not be pushed into accepting any old deal, and no deal might very well be better for Canada than a bad deal.
Blackhawks and Stars meet tonight at the United Center. Chicago's lost 3 straight. College hoops last night. DePaul fell to Creighton 76-75 over in the Valley. Win number 20 for Loyola. They beat Drake. Bradley lost to Northern Iowa. An upset in the Big Ten as number 14 Ohio State dropped number 3 Purdue. And the number 1 team in the nation falls. St. John's stuns top-ranked Villanova in Philly last night. Fighting Illini back home tonight. Wisconsin visiting. The news service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken. Simple. You can understand the details with Rocket Mortgage and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. RocketMortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
In just 1 year, the president has accomplished so much.
We have created 2.4 million new jobs. Unemployment claims have hit a 45-year low. We enacted the biggest tax cuts and reforms in American history.
Working toward one common goal.
To make America great again for all Americans.
What will the next 3 years look like? Follow the journey right here. AM 560, The Answer.
When hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Daryl is hired with Indeed.
Using the site saves me a lot of time. It makes my job so much easier.
Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251.
7:06. Let's get an update on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And Wadsworth, crash on 41 at 173. CTA Green Line trains right now are stopped near Oak Park on the inbound side. There's a mechanical problem. Eden's inbound, 30 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 22. The Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 23 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 20 minutes to Montrose, 39 to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, still jammed. Wooddale Road to St. Charles. Crash, fuel spill, now cleared to the right shoulder. It's an hour, 390 to downtown. 33 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 40 minutes to Manheim, an hour to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Crash at Western in the right lane. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the Merge Bishop, 440. Northbound Tri-State, slow now, 115th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial, bit tight, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Winter storm warning in effect 6 p.m. this evening till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Today, mostly cloudy and very cold with a high 22. Tonight, periods of snow accumulating 3 to 6 inches, low 18, but temperatures rise into the middle 20s overnight. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
9 above at O'Hare, 12 above along the lakefront, 10 at Midway. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Mortgage Makeovers, a show walking you through stress-free mortgage options. Mortgage Makeovers, Sunday afternoons at 1 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So both governors' primaries, gubernatorial primaries, have been ratcheted up in intensity this week. Let's start on the Republican side today. Governor Rauner, we noted, responded yesterday to a candidate he didn't want to acknowledge, Jeannie Ives. He put up a hit on Jeannie Ives yesterday, and that was, actually 2 days ago, so we talked about it yesterday. And then yesterday, to layer on, Rauner enlisted his leftist pro-abort allies at Personal PAC, the organization that has spent $4 million over the last 20 years to oppose and attempt to defeat conservatives, to post this spot hitting Jeannie Ives.
I'm scared.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
We'll work with the Congress to end taxpayer funding of abortion.
Thank you for making all Illinois families pay for my abortions.
Thank you for signing legislation that lets me use the girls' bathroom.
Thank you for opposing law enforcement and making Illinois a sanctuary state for illegal immigrant criminals.
The pro-life movement is alive and we will not be denied. We can finally end abortion in our time.
See, to Personal PAC, a Rauner ally, Jeannie Ives' words are repulsive. I mean, you have to see the text of the ad, of course, repulsive and frightening and so on and so forth. So that's Rauner's ally, attacking Jeannie Ives by using her own words, which, frankly, are like, I don't know, 70% 80% issues, generally speaking, among Republican primary voters. But that's the choice.
Well, first of all, listening to that, I thought I was experiencing an earthquake.
Well,
and hold on, it's coming.
The ad opens with, we didn't think, this could happen, Trump being elected. And so it's warning, the left that, we didn't think Trump could be elected and it happened, so we need to stop Jeannie Ives. And speaking of Trump, it's interesting because Rauner was before the Sun-Times editorial board this week.
With Jeannie Ives or without?
No, he won't do any interviews with Jeannie Ives.
Oh, so that's done.
Yeah.
And he won't do any debates?
Won't do any debates, and he won't do any joint interviews where he doesn't have to. The Tribune was the exception. And, of course, he got his clock clean, so you can understand why he's a little afeared to do any more. And in there, and this was tweeted out by Tina Fondelis, who is a reporter for the Sun-Times, Rauner asked to react to 2 words, President Trump, and he was pressed on it. He said he didn't have a particularly close relationship with him. Right. So that's Rauner saying, I have no relationship with him.
Right.
Right. And there's, probably a reason why he doesn't have a relationship with him. That's probably, you don't think you have a relationship with him? Yeah. Well, when your administration receives a letter from the Department of Justice concerning complying with federal immigration law, that will strain the relationship. You're for sanctuary state. He's opposed to sanctuary designations.
And on a personal level, his wife does not want him seen with him or a picture taken of those two together.
Well, yeah. Well, and no social agenda, right? This is the no social agenda governor who gave $50,000 last year to Planned Parenthood for their gala, who was at the Equality Illinois gala just the weekend before, this last weekend. No social agenda. So whereas President Trump is actually governing, President Trump has been a pro-life president. He's advanced pro-life executive orders. He's nominated pro-life judges, including Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. And he's protected religious liberty where Rauner has undermined it. So I guess there's another reason where there'd be a bit of a divide. President Trump is presiding over tax cuts. Governor Rauner presiding over tax increases. President Trump wants to repeal and replace Obamacare. Rauner spiked health insurance premiums by an average of 15% for silver plans under Obamacare to prop up the Medicaid expansion under Obamacare. Also, despite the latitude provided by the Center for Medicaid Medicare Services to states to add a work requirement to able-bodied Medicaid recipients, something that Matt Bevin took up, Governor of Kentucky, right away and is instituting. Governor Rauner is not instituting. So you can see where there wouldn't be a particularly tight relationship because the two men have completely different policy agendas and policy records. Rauner's over 3 years and Trump's over his first year. And so this is, I would say, bad news. One, because of the policy agendas. Two is because you have a governor that doesn't have a close relationship with the White House of a big state like Illinois. So that redounds to the detriment of Illinois. We're not getting back from the federal government what Illinois families send to the federal government in the form of resources for our immediate needs to improve our quality of life because Governor Rauner and his wife don't want to utter the name Trump. That's exactly what he said. It's pretending to not be in charge to the detriment of Illinois families.
But you think that they would get along because they have a lot in common. They're both successful businessmen. They're both political outsiders. They've never even held a seat on student council or any committee, any lower office, and they're both one's the governor of a large state, one's president of the United States. You'd think that they would their paths have crossed at some point in time.
Well, one wants to has and wants to throw in with the left, and the other doesn't. That's ultimately the big difference. And the other, that's part of it. But a corollary to that is, one is willing to stand and deliver and take the slings and arrows and fight back. The other is a surrender Republican. The other has no core. Trump's core has moved around over the years. I concede that point. But he is standing and delivering, Trump is, on a range of issues that are center-cut conservative reform policy agenda. It's just not in dispute. Rauner is caving and betraying at every turn, abdicating.
Did they ask him during that, Sun-Times editorial board hearing about why he made Illinois a sanctuary state? or why taxpayer-funded abortions up to 9 months. I mean, did they ask him any of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he just
or
get
did
the,
he just get the standard answer?
You get the pat answers. He's not gonna. He doesn't have the bandwidth to give an honest answer. This was a guy who just, talked to people in Springfield, both sides of the aisle. This is a guy who has lied to everyone about everything over the last 3 years, which is why he's largely a man without a country. He's just a man with a checkbook and residual name ID from being governor for 3 years and, having spent $100 million plus in advance of his branding. And so, it's really an awareness campaign. I mean, if this primary election were in, say, May or June, he'd have no chance, because that would be enough time for everybody to understand the choice.
And to process. What's going on.
Yeah.
It just makes me so mad. It's just a graphic example for me of people with money have so much power. And it's like that in our school. We have one gentleman at our school who's rich, and he controls that school because he gives money to it, and it drives me bonkers. Really, and in every aspect of life.
Well, I mean,
if you have money, you have power.
There's the golden rule, right? He who has the gold makes the rules. There is that, but in politics, don't forget. Here's the good news: the political graveyard is littered with the tombstones of rich people who thought, I'm successful in one arena, so now I want something else for my epitaph. I want something else to enhance my status, so I'm going to go into politics and be a governor or senator. The graveyard is full of those people who were unsuccessful. It is rare that someone like Rauner is successful politically. He hit it right at the right time in 2014 against the most unpopular governor in the country at the time, Pat Quinn, which he has now supplanted as the most unpopular governor up for re-election in 2018. But there's nothing. At some point there's diminishing marginal returns to money. You're seeing it happen with J.B. Pritzker too.
Yeah, and speaking of J.B. Pritzker, he's still under fire for those secret FBI wiretap recordings of him and Rod Blagojevich talking about African-American politicians, Emil Jones and Jesse Jackson Jr. And one woman, Monica Faith Stewart, was highlighting the importance of the black vote in Illinois.
To politicians who are trying to make it to the State House or the White House, you have to first come through the Black House, or you will find yourself in the outhouse.
Oh, she's a community organizer, because some African Americans are still upset that, he wasn't held more accountable for his statements that he made about Emil Jones and just describing African American politicians. But one person who's coming to his aid is the actual person who got the U.S. Senate seat, Rolly the Boo.
There's going to be some fallout, but politicians make all kind of mistakes. I know those things are said behind closed doors, and we really talk differently publicly than you do when you're in a private conversation with someone, and everybody does that.
So everyone does that?
I think Roland Burris is speaking truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's there's going to be some fallout. The fallout continues. Obviously, it'll be exacerbated by Pritzker's opponents, most notably Biss so far. But we're gonna have to get to Biss at some point too, because with Chris Kennedy being so awkward and kind of lackadaisical about this campaign, there's a real lane for an alternative to Pritzker. There already was a Bernie Sanders lane, which represents nearly half of the Democrat primary vote from 2016. And that's the lane Biss is trying to occupy. And if he can occupy that lane plus pull some Kennedy voters, then JB can keep spending his millions. He may very well not be the nominee. Sandra and Cicero, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. I'm listening to all this trash about Rauner and with the state. Rauner does not run the state of Illinois. His wife, Diane, who's a strict Democrat, these are her ideas.
Well,
and he goes along with the wifey.
Well, that thanks for the call. That may be
She's really good friends with Jan Schakowsky.
Well,
they kind of look alike too.
That's not a compliment.
Jan's the older sister. Okay, fine.
Well, to Sandra's point, that may be true. Of course, your spouse is going to influence you if they're politically active, and Diane Rauner is. That may be true, but ultimately, right, the governor is accountable for the decisions the governor made. If Jeannie Ives was governor and her husband Paul wanted to influence her in public policy and had certain positions, and he wanted to see him advanced.
What would she do to Paul?
No, I mean, she wouldn't do anything to him. I mean, Paul is a tough guy. He's a West Pointer, too. But the point is, I would say the same thing. Ultimately, it is the governor's decisions, and the governor's accountable for those decisions.
Yes, but happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, well, this is not about being governor is not about you having a happy life. It's about you making life more happy for Illinois families. I think that's got lost in the mix somewhere. George in Libertyville.
Hey, good morning, guys. Up here in Libertyville, we were so excited to support, get the vote out, everything for Rauner. I mean, to this day, everybody up here, when this topic comes up, they literally just shake their head, say, what was that guy thinking for the full late term of abortion and the sanctuary city status? I mean, Dan, doesn't a guy like that have somebody close to him saying, hold on there, big fella, let's really take a back seat and think about this? Again, what a completely stupid move.
Yeah, thanks for the call, George. I know there were people that advised him against all of the policy decisions that were profiled in that Jeannie Ives ad and more, and advised him to be more active in the budget debate and don't play Pontius Pilate, let the General Assembly work it out, get in there and hold your caucuses together. So, for example, 15 of them don't defect and pass Madigan's tax increase. But he wanted Madigan's tax increase passed. That's the dirty little secret. He wanted the tax increase passed. He wanted his veto overridden so that he could have the political benefit of vetoing a tax increase and be off the hook in terms of having to come up with a budget and just play the game that he's been playing for 4 years of just, all of my failures are Madigan's fault. That's the bottom line. And I know a lot of people very close. I had previously been in conversations on a range of these topics, so I know of what I speak. I'll just say that. Jordan in Forest Park.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, I think that Rauner has done a reality check, and I think looking at California is a good example. He's probably looking at that and saying, well, that's never going to be a Republican state ever. And he realizes now that Illinois probably won't be either. So instead of being a reformer and, trying to get jobs back here and whatever, he is saying, well, I guess that's not going to work. I'm going to change. So he's the one that's actually changed, and he's basically just trying to stay in power, and it's probably not going to work. But it's just a dumb political move because he knows he has no chance, and he knows he can't. The state's not going to be reformed, in his opinion.
Thanks, Jordan. Phil in Itasca.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning.
So what happens to the people? This is what happens, I think, when we push the nominee no matter what. So what happens to the people who really pushed for Rauner back in 2014? The one lady who called about his wife, I believe that came up during the campaign as well back then. What happens to the media and members and the elected officials who pushed Rauner back then? Dan, what should they be removed?
Well, it's not about, thanks for the call. It's not about removing people or excommunicating people. I'm not in that business. It's about presenting a choice and letting all of the people who made the choice in 2014, giving them an opportunity to make a different choice. And for the first time in a long time, with respect to an incumbent governor, they have that choice. And so there's an opportunity, as I said, to send a message to the political power structure in both the establishment Republican Party as well as, of course, the Chicago Democrats who control the state. And it's up to the primary voters if they want the Rauner surrender Republican Party, if they are okay with repeated betrayals, or they want a conservative reform Republican Party. Their choice.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly cloudy, very cold today. We're going to have a high of 22 degrees in the single digits right now. But the big news is the snow. We are under a winter storm watch through Saturday, and this is what's going to happen. Periods of snow beginning this evening, 3 to 6 inches. Then tomorrow, snow on and off throughout the day, 4 to 8 inches. So storm totals will be anywhere from 8 inches to a foot of snow. Tomorrow, a high of 28. And then on Saturday, cold, some snow, 1 to 3 inches, a high of 23. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Amy and Dan, IDOT crews have cleared a crash on the inbound Eisenhower at St. Charles. There was a fuel spill, too. It's still jammed 83 to St. Charles and 25th to Western. It's an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown, 40 minutes from Manheim, outbound 51 minutes to 390. Eden's 30 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 24. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 39. Stevenson from 355 to Lakeshore Drive is an hour and 12 minutes. Crash at Western, still blocking the right lane, outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, bottled up, 111th to 31st. Then from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower, Veterans Memorials, those 75th to the Reagan Tollway. The other tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana looks good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As flu season approaches, you know how to protect yourself, well, we hope, against colds and viruses, but how do you protect your computer network? Ransomware, viruses, hacks, intrusions, it could stop your company's computer network in an instant. Is your network safe and protected? Can your data be restored easily? If you've been putting this off, don't put it off any longer. Just contact Turnkey IT today, and they'll provide frontline security for your network and its data. So if there is an email attachment opened in error, or network intruder, Turnkey IT immediately knows and fixes the problem. They will arm your network with cutting-edge antivirus, disaster recovery, and proactive monitoring software systems to stop virus outbreaks before they have a chance to spread. Over the phone or in person, Turnkey IT is your network safeguard against this season's worst bugs. See what a dose of Turnkey's proactive support can do for you. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Starting Balance of Nature, I felt that the first month I felt different. It made such a difference that now I wake up, my head feels clearer, I have more energy. Very rarely does my body cramp up anymore. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just would not be what I am today if I didn't start Balance of Nature.
I plan on taking this the rest of my life because until I started taking your stuff, I never took as many fruits and vegetables in a day as I get through you guys. You know, I'm very, very, very satisfied.
My pain and it went away. I swear to you that that's the truth.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
No more excuses, gentlemen. It's a new year. It's time to do the things you've been putting off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. I personally recommend visiting my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men with low T. If you do have low T, it can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and cause you to lose muscle mass. If this is something you've been experiencing, you should get your testosterone levels checked. Guys, take the first step this new year. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number again, 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 now or go to lowtcenter.com.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Ronald Reagan, considered by many the founder of modern conservatism, said, "Without God, democracy will not and cannot long endure." What a perfect connection between faith and America.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit automatedsys.com.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families.
but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges and Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Nancy Pelosi delivers the longest continuous speech in the House since 1909, which was also delivered by Nancy Pelosi. We'll talk to Ed Morrissey from hotair.com about it at 7:37.
And did you know she valiantly did it in 4-inch heels? That's what CNN was bragging. I mean,
and
the
she
fortitude.
persisted.
Yes, God bless her. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
10 degrees, cloudy skies. Syrian state-run television is accusing the U.S. of what they call a major aggression after American warplanes bombed pro-government troops trying to storm a base held by rebels allied with Washington. U.S. forces also used artillery against the forces loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. A bipartisan 2-year budget deal may have trouble passing the House tonight. The Senate expected to pass the budget, send it to the House for final approval before the midnight deadline.
We came together with an agreement that is very good for the American people and recognizes needs that both sides of the aisle proffered.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor says the deal is a big boost for defense spending. Vice President Mike Pence in South Korea for the Winter Olympics with a message for the host country: there needs to be more pressure on North Korea. Philadelphia is celebrating its long-awaited Super Bowl victory with a big parade through the city of brotherly love. Starting at about 10 our time. It starts in South Philly, ends up at the famous steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Winter storm warning goes into effect at 6 this evening. Lasts all the way till 6 in the evening on Friday. A 9-year-old girl is safe after going missing on the Northwest Side. Angelica Williams has been located and reunited with her family. School officials confirmed the Secret Service was on campus at Waukegan High School this week. Their presence was part of an investigation not initiated by the school district. Blackhawks and Stars meet tonight at the United Center. College baskets last night. DePaul fell to Creighton. In the Valley, Loyola with win number 20 and a win over Drake, 72-57. The news service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis. And fast. Call today, Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's really cold at this time of the year.
The Joe Walsh Show.
A very nice man in Elgin decided to take in homeless people into his basement to get them out of the cold. And wouldn't you know it, the city government told him to cease and desist. Something about municipal regulations or whatever.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Big government sucks.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois. Spark ideas for spring home improvement at the Old House New House Home Show, February 9th through 11th at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Explore the latest in kitchens, baths, basements, additions, renovations, and landscaping. Discover displays from 300 award-winning contractors, talented designers, and creative craftsmen. You can also meet experts on roofing, waterproofing, window treatments, patios, pergolas, painting, tile, custom closets, windows, doors, flooring, and more at the Old House New House Home Show in enjoy inspiring workshops on kitchen design, decorating trends, beautiful bathrooms, and landscaping design. Plus, meet Mr. Fix-It, Lou Manfredini, on Saturday morning. Adult admission is $7, seniors just $4, and parking is free. A portion of ticket proceeds benefits Habitat for Humanity of Northern Fox Valley. Update, renovate, and revitalize your home with the Old House New House Home Show, February 9th through 11th at Pheasant Run Resort, St. Charles. For tickets and more information, visit KennedyProductions.com.
7:35 and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Eisenhower is jammed York to St. Charles after an earlier crash and fuel spill. And we have delays as well from 25th most of the way into downtown Chicago. It's an hour and 6 minutes, 390 to downtown, 45 minutes from Manheim, outbound 42 minutes to Manheim, an hour and 4 minutes to 390. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 25. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 23 from Montrose, 24 in the Express, outbound 39 to the airport. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, crash at Western in the right lane, outbound 38 minutes. Bryan, 32 minutes from 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 40 minutes, 8094 to the merge, outbound 26, crash at Cottage Grove in the right lane. Tri-State southbound heavy Oak Lane to 176. Northbound 111th, 31st, and from the Reagans all the way to the Ike. Veterans Memorial, slow Boughton most of the way to St. Charles. Army Trail to 290. Traffic service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained with the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Start a 30-day trial, and your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Cloudy, very cold, high 22. Periods of snow kick up overnight. That winter storm warning goes into effect. 3 to 6 inches accumulation in the overnight hours and a low of 18. A cold day ahead tomorrow. Snow accumulating another 4 to 8 inches. Storm totals 8 to 12 right now, high of 28. Currently 10. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. on AM 560. Explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
See Dan Proft and Donna Brazil go head-to-head at Beyond the Talking Points on Thursday, March 22nd. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/beyond.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Nancy Pelosi's 8-hour filibuster yesterday.
Riveting.
Stephen Dugan tweeted, longest continuous speech since 1909, which was also by Nancy Pelosi. Believes she was railing against President Taft for not allowing enough Irish immigrants to come to the U.S., and said $10 bonuses Henry Ford gave to his workers to do to the success of the Model T were crumbs.
Mean,
That's
mean,
so great.
mean.
Very good.
No, well, she sat there and on the House floor. And
She didn't sit there.
I'm
She
sorry,
stood.
she stood. Excuse me.
Please give her credit.
In 4-inch heels. I want to know the make of her shoes. And she had women behind her. Jan Schakowsky was standing behind her at some point in time, to form solidarity. But she was talking about dreamers and telling their stories.
Ann B. Davis's bowling ball suggested that he was unaware C-SPAN started airing 8-hour infomercials for Depends. Here's Nancy Pelosi,
Guys are so mean.
per your reference, talking about those dreamers.
I'm reminded of my own grandson. He's Irish, English, whatever, and Italian American. He's the mix. But he looks more like the other side of the family, shall we say. And when he had his sixth birthday, he had a very close friend whose name is Antonio, who's from Guatemala. And he has beautiful tan skin, beautiful brown eyes, and the rest. And this was such a proud day for me because when my grandson blew out the candles on his cake, they said, "Did you make a wish?" And he said, "Yes, I made a wish." He said, "Well, what is your wish?" He said, "I wish I had brown skin and brown eyes like Antonio." So beautiful. So beautiful. The beauty is in the mix. The face of the future for our country is all American, and that has many versions.
My kids have
Dark skin and brown eyes.
Yeah.
I wish I could be like him. Beginning of a lovely romance.
Now, the other the individual she didn't reference was, for example, the Sudanese-born beneficiary of a diversity visa lottery that funneled money for years to a designated terrorist, according to federal officials who have removed to strip him of his legal status. This reported yesterday in the Washington Examiner. Mubarak Ahmed Hamed was convicted in 2010 of sending $1 million from a nonprofit to a terrorist in Jordan, who redirected the funds to Iraq in the years before the U.S. invasion to depose Saddam Hussein. He began a 4-year, 10-month prison term in 2012, and now they want his legal status revoked. Or this story, the world's most persistent illegal immigrant, one Mexican managing to get deported 44 times in 15 years.
Whoa.
The runner-up was ousted 40 times between 2001 and 2015. Number 3, 4, and 5 on the list were deported 35, 34, and 31 times respectively, according to data provided to the Washington Times by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So you can see why people are a little tired of the one-sided rhetoric, the refusal to acknowledge victims and their families of people who should not be in this country, as we have in sanctuary cities and sanctuary states like Chicago and like Illinois, and Pelosi's filibuster to try and extract a guarantee from Paul Ryan on a DACA deal went nowhere for that reason. For more on this topic and the budget deal and a range of other issues, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Ed Morrissey, senior editor for HotAir.com and columnist for The Week. Ed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
With respect to, Nancy Pelosi's theater notwithstanding, with respect to Republicans, Democrats agreeing on this 2-year budget deal that lifts the sequestration caps, was that taking full advantage of the leverage that the president had created with the Democrats over the previous government shutdown?
No, I would say absolutely not. It's a terrible deal. It's a deal, I guess, which is better than nothing in some ways. But this is what's amazing about this is that this is the most massive expansion of the federal budget that is about to come up here in probably 7 or 8 years, and it took single-party Republican governance to get us a massive expansion of the federal budget.
Right.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one, to be honest with you. That to me sounds like a really big loss. I know it's going to be spun as a win. We got the budget taken care of. Now we can focus on other things. And to be fair, Donald Trump did not get elected by being a budget hawk. I mean, he didn't. He was talking about the fact that deficits don't matter and you can run up the deficit. It doesn't make any difference. We just need to build stuff. So it's a fulfillment, I guess, of the 2016 election, of the theme set that carried the day in the 2016 election. But it's really a repudiation of everything that Republicans said that they stood for, fiscally, I should say, for the last, 30 years?
Well, do you think anybody from the Freedom Caucus is going to come forward and say, what about the budget deficit?
Oh, they already have. I mean, they're saying that they're not going to vote for this thing. It's not going to matter because there's going to be enough Democrats voting for it so that the Freedom Caucus is, 20, 25 people? Mm-hmm. It's enough to keep them from getting a majority if Democrats don't cross over, but Democrats are going to cross over because they've made a deal with them.
Right.
And so the Freedom Caucus is going to get steamrolled on this one. But they are coming out and saying that they're not voting for this.
It is rather remarkable. I thought the president and Republicans understood that the president had his foot on the collective neck of congressional Democrats and they were going to press down, but instead they removed the foot and are on their merry way. You get to spend recklessly on your stuff and we get to spend recklessly on our stuff and we'll just keep the party going. That's not draining the swamp. So I wonder how the president is going to split the difference here.
It's not draining the swamp, and that's a great point because that is something that cuts against the 2016 election themes. This is filling the swamp, and you're filling it with cash. This is what they do. They don't try to budget within their means. They just simply spend more money, and they borrow it in order to cover the cost. It's a never-ending cycle, and we're going to come up against a hard end to this at some point, and it's going to get very, very ugly when we're no longer able to borrow on that basis, and especially when the older Americans really start retiring and using Medicare and Social Security, and we find out that we've got hundreds of, perhaps hundreds of trillions of dollars in unfunded mandates there. I mean, it's going to be an absolute disaster. And then all of a sudden everybody's going to say, well, why didn't we do anything about this? Well, we had the opportunity, at least for a few years with these spending caps, to give ourselves an opportunity to find ways to live within our means and to prioritize money for things that really mattered and trim off everything else, and we never took advantage of it.
So yesterday about this time, another round of text messages between those two lovebirds over there at the FBI were dropped. And I was wondering your take on President Obama's involvement in the Hillary Clinton email investigation.
Well, actually, later on, it turned out that the text messages that they were talking about that Lisa Page had sent to Peter Strzok, saying that she was working on talking points for James Comey because the president wanted to be briefed and wanted to know everything that was going on. Mm-hmm. The Senate sources for that story had said that it referenced the Clinton email investigation, which was dormant by the point in time that these texts came out. This was 2 months after James Comey had announced that the FBI was going to recommend that nothing be done about it. So it was a little curious. And then later on, apparently the other news agencies reported that it was actually about a briefing on counterintelligence and Russian penetration into, or disinformation campaign in the political thing, which would be appropriate for the president to be involved in. So, the thing is about these texts is that they tend to turn out to be nothing burgers when you find out the full context of them. You've got a couple of lovebirds who are very enamored of each other and themselves. And it sounds like in these text messages that they're basically solving all the world's problems. I don't know how much we really should read into this stuff. And every time the secret society thing turns out to be a bust, this kind of turned out to be a bust. I'm not necessarily thinking that we're going to find out a whole lot from the pillow talk between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok.
Yeah, it still seems, though, that Andy McCarthy over at National Review gets more and more correct with each passing day. And the argument he's made since the outset that this was always about protecting President Obama and his email exchanges with Hillary Clinton using a pseudonymous email account. And he goes through the drafts that have been released of the statement that Comey issued at that infamous July 5th, 2016 press conference where he outlined Hillary's criminal conduct and then recommended against an indictment. And the fact that in previous drafts, 5 days earlier, this is from the draft, that use, meaning Hillary Clinton's use of personal email, included an email exchange with the president while Secretary Clinton was on the territory of such an adversary. Then that went from the president to a senior government official. Then that went from senior government official to redacted altogether. He notes that President Obama had his email communications with Hillary Clinton sealed. And then Attorney General Lynch is editing Comey's word usage to change investigation to matter, and so on and so forth. It does seem that there was a rally around the POTUS going on at DOJ and FBI and state during 2016.
Well, yeah, but Andy McCarthy's getting that from better evidence, though, too. I mean, he's getting that from the actual drafts that went on, and right. He's not getting it from the Strzok Page text.
No, right.
And that's what I'm saying is that you're right. Those are concerns that really do need to be drilled down on, but we need to be looking at the actual evidence of that rather than chasing some other shiny object. Andy McCarthy's on the right track, and he's a smart guy, and I think he's right about that. But I don't think the stuff that came out yesterday about the Strzok Page texts really advances that story much.
What about the unredacted or mostly unredacted or additionally unredacted Grassley memo that indicates that Steele lied to the FBI about his media contacts, and then even after the FBI knew Steele was the source of the media stories, like the Yahoo story, They lied to the FBI, lied to FISA about this, and still proffered the Yahoo story to the court. That the FBI presented information to the FISA judge they knew was untrue.
Yes. This is another great example of this. We were all talking about the Nunes memo. The Nunes memo is basically an argument, and it's not a very solid argument. This, however, is the referral that Grassley and Graham sent to the Department of Justice to open a criminal investigation into Christopher Steele. That's a pretty solid document, and we found out when it first came out, most of it was redacted, but even the stuff that wasn't sounded a lot more promising than anything we saw in the Nunes memo. Now that we've seen most of it be unredacted, it's very interesting. It's a very solid piece of the puzzle, I would say. And I think we should be much more focused on that than on the Nunes memo.
Meanwhile, you have Adam Schiff, according to Daily Mail. Adam Schiff falls for the old Yakov Smirnoff prank phone call. I mean, this guy,
I know.
A prank phone call by Russian comedians who offered to give him compromising dirt on Donald Trump, including nude photos of the president and a Russian reality show star. And then Schiff dispatches his goons to try and get the information that was that these comedians allegedly had. How about this guy? We're supposed to take him seriously?
Well, I mean, if anything, it kind of reminds me of the Trump Tower meeting, right? With
yes, exactly.
Natalia Veselnitskaya. So, it's pretty clear that this type of stuff can happen pretty easily, and you don't have to be a traitor as people have been accusing Trump Jr. and Kushner and Manafort to fall for something like that. I mean, this is if you're desperate for dirt, this is the type of trap that you wind up falling into. And this guy is the ranking member on the House Intelligence Committee who's been there for a while, and you'd think that maybe he would know something a little bit, how to protect himself against this kind of thing a little bit better than amateur political operatives did. I mean, if anything, it just demonstrates how you can fall into that sort of thing pretty easily.
Well, yeah, Adam Schiff also, he got a subsequent call that said somebody had Prince Albert in a can, and so he's looking for Prince Albert. Ed Morrissey, senior editor of HotAir.com, columnist for the week. Ed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll find that Prince someday.
Yeah.
And Ed Morrissey joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, people have spring fever. Consumer confidence is up, and that means spending. We want folks to enjoy what they've worked so hard for, but don't forget...
Craig, are you trying to tell me something? I know. Retirement's right around the corner.
Listen, a new season is time for regrowth and building on what you already have. You don't need to do it alone if you have Wealth Management Group at your side.
Spring into action and make Wealth Management Group your go-to partner. And listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560, The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on the show each morning. Our podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics that airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. Long-form interviews are Against the Current series with opinion makers and policy leaders. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project. Don't forget our new series, Heart of the Matter, featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day and the impacts of policy choices on household budgets and family. And then our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Get updates on 2017 home sale prices in your region and get a property tax report on your home to see what the highest property taxes in the nation are doing to your home value and thus your home equity. You can get all the property tax info, upstream-ideas.com. Everything else, all the property tax info, defendhomeowners.com, and everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was always just sort of feeling tired. And so I said, maybe this will just help in overall vitality. But in the past couple of years that I've been taking it, I find my energy has been great. I've been sleeping better. I don't get the cravings for junk food as often as I used to. I really attribute it to the product. It's so easy to use. Even if I want to take a capsule for my daughter and I just pull it apart to mix it in some juice or something, it's just something I'm very grateful to be able to incorporate. I really love the product. I think it's made such a difference.
Generally feel better, generally have better energy and more stamina. Breathing is easier, walking is easier. You're not in pain anymore, all right? I could go on and on.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560's Passport to Paradise contest is open to any legal U.S. resident, age 18 or older. To enter, download the AM 560 mobile app and fill out the entry form between January 22nd and February 9th, 2018. One grand prize winner will be randomly chosen on February 12th and will receive a 7-night trip for two to Riviera Maya, Mexico, including round-trip airfare and a junior suite at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera, Cancun. Approximate retail value $3,334. Visit 560theanswer.com for complete rules.
True story. So I urged one of my family members to call CertaPro Painters. He didn't do it, and that painting crew had to come back 3 times to fix their awful, sloppy mistakes, even paint on the floor, if you can believe it. Well, with CertaPro Painters, you get the best in the business. The attention to detail, color selection is truly unmatched. And now is the perfect time to get the interior of your home or business painted. The lower humidity provides an ideal environment for great coverage and quick drying times. They use fine quality paints with 0 or low VOCs, very little to no odor during application. Be an early bird and cross the first item off your 2018 to-do list. It's also the perfect time to spruce up your commercial property. Remember, each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with the C. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Now that I've got your attention, my name is Jeannie Ives, and I'm the conservative running against Bruce Rauner for governor. I'm an economic liberty, pro-family West Point grad. I've spent the last 5 years battling Chicago Democrats. I didn't think I'd have to spend so much time battling Bruce Rauner. But when Rauner betrayed conservative families, that's exactly what I did. Rauner made Illinois a sanctuary state. I voted against it. Rauner made you pay for abortions in all 9 months of pregnancy. I voted against it, and so did every other Republican legislator. Rauner took money from your schools to bail out the Chicago public schools. I voted against it. National Review has called Rauner the worst Republican governor in the country because he is. Rauner betrayed us. I honor who we are as conservatives. Rauner can't win re-election. He said he's not in charge. With your help, I'll lead the charge.
Paid for by Ives for Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The Ministry of Loneliness is not just the name of my motel's cover band from high school. It's a real thing in the UK. We'll discuss it and see if it's something that we should adopt here in Chicago or Illinois at 8:08.
And later, one university is celebrating fatness and obesity. We'll tell you how they're doing it. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Chicagoland bracing for a winter storm. It kicks off about 6 this evening. Serial Stowaway will remain in jail for now. Former students and employees accuse a Northwestern University professor of misconduct. Elon Musk is bidding for an express train to O'Hare. Blackhawks will host the Stars tonight. Fighting Illini hosts Wisconsin and Loyola. The Ramblers win college hoops game number 20. Cloudy and very cold in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Are there enough votes to keep the government fully running? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The answer is yes in the Senate after a bipartisan agreement.
What this bill does is it funds the government through March 23rd, but the big thing is that it lifts the domestic and Pentagon spending caps to the tune of almost $400 billion over a 2-year period.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. Some Republicans in the House say they'll vote no. Unhappy with the increased domestic spending, some Democrats want assurances of a DACA fix, protecting immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as kids, which is why Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi spoke for 8 straight hours, a record on the House floor.
Why are we here if not to protect the patriotic young people who are determined to contribute and to strengthen America?
The Senate plans to take that issue up next. President Trump insists on border wall funding and any DACA deal. Vice President Pence is in South Korea the day after an Olympics, the day before an Olympics, where North Korea will participate.
Well, let me say we haven't requested a meeting with North Korea.
Pence saying if a meeting did take place, the U.S. would not be offering compromises.
North Korea needs to once and for all abandon its nuclear and ballistic missile ambitions.
North Korea says it has no intention of meeting with the vice president, although experts dispute that. In Seoul, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Former President George W. Bush says there's pretty clear evidence Russia meddled in 2016, though it's another question whether they affected the election's outcome.
And it's problematic that a foreign nation is involved in our election system.
And the former president at a gathering in the United Arab Emirates did not mention President Trump, who's called the probe into possible Russian collusion in his campaign a witch hunt. President Trump now the National Prayer Breakfast.
Today we praise God for how truly blessed we are to be American.
Saying faith is central to liberty. He's still addressing the gathering in Washington. Every president since Eisenhower has spoken at this breakfast featuring religious and political leaders. Fox News, fair and balanced.
10 degrees, cloudy skies at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Well, it's a big one coming. Winter storm warning in effect beginning at 6 this evening until 6 p.m. Friday evening. National Weather Service says a winter storm is headed into northeastern Illinois and northwest Indiana. Could bring as much as 9 to 12 inches of snow to the area in spots. It will brush a good chunk of the entire northern part of the state. Parts of central Illinois will also be impacted by the snow. 9-year-old girl is safe after she went missing on the northwest side. Angelica Williams has been located and reunited with her family. A judge has denied a request to release from jail a woman with a history of sneaking onto planes, whose attorney wanted Marilyn Hartman sent to a nonprofit facility. 10 former students and employees of Northwestern University's journalism school are accusing a prominent professor, Alec Klein, of harassment and bullying. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner is refusing to pardon a U.S. Army vet with a green card who faces deportation because of a 2008 serious drug conviction. Last month, the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals rejected arguments by Miguel Perez Jr. that his life would be in danger if he were deported to Mexico. Stars and Blackhawks meet tonight at the UC. College hoops. DePaul falls to Creighton by 1. In the Valley, Loyola, win number 20 on the season, beating Drake. In the Big Ten, Ohio State upset number 3 Purdue. Unranked St. John's knocks off number 4 Duke over the weekend, then stuns top-ranked Villanova last night in Philly, 79-75. Fighting Illini back on their home court tonight, facing Wisconsin. The news service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained through the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Start a 30-day trial, and your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. 8:04, it's time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the parent company of Taco Bell and KFC is partnering with Grubhub. Yum Brands and Grubhub will work together on online orders, pickup, and delivery. Yum Brands is also buying part of Grubhub. It's purchasing $200 million worth of stock. Yum Brands' earnings were stronger than expected in the recent quarter. Sales increased and earnings topped last year's numbers. Drugstore chain CVS's business was stronger than expected. CVS says overall sales increased. Its best numbers were for its pharmacy business. The Bank of England decided to keep its interest rates unchanged because of the uncertain situation related to its exit from the European Union. The Dow Jones Industrials dropped 19 points yesterday. The Nasdaq was down 63. The S&P dropped 13, and futures are higher this morning. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
It's 8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder points out the rise in the president's approval rating.
Trump's ratings are creeping up a little bit. Rasmussen has him at 49%. Macron in France in November was at 46%. Merkel, Germany in December, 38%. Trudeau, Canada, January of this year, 37%. My goodness. Those leaders must be racist. They must be xenophobes. They must be dictators.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Dennis Prager here. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants, get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Well, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants bring. Everyone is different. Don't settle for mass-produced implants. Did you know that there is a difference in quality of the actual implant itself? Some are made to last, and some aren't.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics 630-632-7400 or just remember implantsforme.com.
It's 8:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Kennedy's jammed now. Foster to the Bird Circle. It is an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 48 minutes from Montrose. 45 in the Express. Outbound 16 minutes to Montrose. 36 to O'Hare. Eden's 22 minutes. Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 28. The Eisenhower. 1 hour. 390 to downtown. 42 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 52 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 14 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive after a crash at Western, outbound 42 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 21 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 40. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, 30 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. The delay started at Montrose. Outbound heavy from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State, Bottled Up, 21 to Oak Plain. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. The Adams and Reagan Tollways are good. Northbound Veterans Memorial. Slow out most of the way to St. Charles and Army Trail to 290. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Winter storm warning in effect 6 p.m. this evening till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Today, mostly cloudy, high 22, 3 to 6 inches of snow tonight, low 18, temperatures rising into the middle 20s, snow accumulating 4 to 8 inches tomorrow, high 28. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
10 degrees, next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
That's right. Much better than an owner of a broken heart. That's right. Lonely better than broken. That's the whole point. Can't risk it.
Yeah.
Closed off.
Who sings that song?
Are you kidding?
Tears for Fears.
No.
What? Wait.
Yes.
I mean, no. I mean, maybe.
Well done. Just came to you, did it?
It did.
Okay.
Justin Kosick just came through my headset.
Who sings that?
Who sings that?
You call yourself a product of the 80s?
I know songs and I know the lyrics to songs. I just don't know who sings the song.
Well, that's you
Okay.
got to you have to. That's how you close the loop. Only the lonely, which would also been a fair
Only
choice.
the
for
lonely. Patti Smith.
No,
Patty something. Patty Cake.
Patty Cake. That's correct. That is the right artist.
Patty.
The
Patty-
Motels.
Oh, come on. Really? I got that wrong too?
Yeah.
It's like I told you.
Whoa!
Only the lonely can play.
I wish I
So
was
hold
lonely
on.
now.
There we go. Can you get that song? I'm gonna download that on my iTunes.
All right, so this is a real thing. Do you think that it's an appropriate role of the government to protect people from loneliness, to help connect people to one another, to make sure that your relatives call you a certain number of times each month?
Like well-being checks?
Oh, well, communication of some sort. I don't know what the strictures are going to be. That's not for me, Amy. That's for the Minister for Loneliness.
Wait. Is that your new side hustle? Did you get your side hustle on?
Okay,
Dan Proft,
interesting.
also
Minister of Loneliness?
The Minister of Loneliness is named Tracy Couch.
A.K.A. Dan Proft.
No. Couch is currently the Undersecretary for Sport and Civil Society in the Cultural Ministry. I mean, could this be more Orwellian?
Are we talking the United States?
No, we're talking in England.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
He'll be leading the efforts to build on a commission on loneliness with the goal of helping people of all ages connect with each other and reducing overall rates of chronic loneliness. He is an appointee of Prime Minister Theresa May. This is a serious thing.
Wow.
Government research in the UK has found that about 200,000 older people in Britain had not had a conversation with a friend or relative in more than a month.
That's so sad.
Oh, I know. My heart breaks. And loneliness has been found to be detrimental to both physical and mental health. Evidence that social isolation and loneliness significantly increase risk for premature mortality, as well as other ailments, according to a psychology professor at BYU who has studied loneliness. Many nations around the world now suggest we are facing, here we go, the E word,
What?
a loneliness epidemic.
Oh, thank God it's not a pandemic. It's an epidemic.
Exactly. The challenge we face now is what can be done about it. In the U.S., half of adults 62 and older experience loneliness to some degree. Perhaps America could use a minister of loneliness as well. What do you think? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You like the idea of a minister of loneliness. And if you do, should Trump create the office, and who should he appoint?
Well, I think there's just one person in mind. That would be Dan Proft to be in charge of the Ministry of Loneliness.
Yeah.
But it is a good idea. I mean, you know, because it's obviously we're going to have about a foot of snow coming our way within the next 48 hours. They always say check on the elderly, check on your neighbors. Why don't you just check on your elderly neighbors?
Well,
really, because they're long. I do feel bad. I volunteered in a retirement home and spent a lot of my time not only washing people's hair, but talking to them and spending time with them and hearing their stories. And I learned so much, and it builds your character.
Well, there's also, by the way, one way to eliminate the lonely in Britain, is just send them for a checkup at NICE at their government-run healthcare. You know, they want to drop people like a bad habit over there. I mean, how many, the Charlie Gard case?
Oh, that's
the case of the infant we talked about earlier this week. You know, you've got your, frankly, death squads over there with your government-run healthcare that'll eliminate your loneliness straight away.
We have received
We've
received a text message from a very lonely listener. Frequently calls into the show in Texas. If there's anything, I want to be lonely. It's not the government's business.
Well, that's
Thanks,
one,
Ron.
That's one perspective. That's one perspective. But
Yeah.
I mean, euthanasia is so popular in Europe. Why not just make loneliness a medical condition,
yeah.
and the lonely can just self-select off of this mortal coil, and that just eliminates the problem, because that's how these ghouls want to address other mental health and physical ailments, is just knock people off.
Mhm.
You could always do that. What do you think? Mr. of Loneliness, forcing you to call your mother.
Yeah, that's what this is.
By the way,
or call an uncle that you haven't spoken to in a while. Check in.
well, by the way, it's not just the elderly. You also have a social isolation among the young because of the digital age.
Oh, it's
and
awful.
everybody's right on social media or playing video games, and so they're not interacting with
Not
each
at
other.
my house, they're not.
So you got well, not anymore.
Well, since the incident, since Peyton and Eli got in a fist fight, and
Thanks to my advice and counsel.
Eli broke his hand.
So you've got the young, you've got the old, and then you've got because of the nature of the breakup of the nuclear family, you've got a lot of people in between, right? I mean, that's just the reality on the ground. So it's interesting. The idea that the government's going to be your friend, or the government's going to be a matchmaker, or the government is going to be a facilitator of conversations between family members. I mean, doesn't this strike you as way too Huxleyan for comfort?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perry and Niles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, good morning, you guys.
Morning.
Love you.
Thank you.
Are you lonely?
Yes. Is this a cry for
well,
help?
I'm calling. I listen to you guys every morning, so no, I'm not lonely at all. But
All right.
thank you for asking. Now, is the government are they gonna have a bureau where we'll have to pay for that? And if so, then when I visit somebody, should I get a receipt so I can get a tax break at the end of the year?
That's a great idea.
That
yeah,
is.
you got to
Thanks.
incentivize it through tax policy. Thanks for the call, Perry. That's pretty good. All right. All right. Now, again, we still need a secretary or a czar, since we love using the terms for Russian royalty, the drug czar, this czar, that czar, the loneliness czar in the United States. Neil in Elmwood Park.
Hey. Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hello.
I think that's obviously it's a societal thing, right? But what I think they should do is have celebrities call them. And we've got plenty of celebrities. They should have Hasselhoff get hammered, start eating cheeseburgers with all these people, or get Charlie Sheen to start talking dirty to all the old ladies in England. There's plenty to go around.
All
But
right.
half of them are probably lonely because they're dirtbags to begin with, and nobody likes them.
Wow.
Thanks for the call, Neil. Yeah, that is not something I had considered, that the lonely people are dirtbags that no one likes. I hadn't considered that possibility. I suppose that could explain a portion of the lonely
Well, I'm
people.
lonely sometimes.
Are you?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Because
You got your whole Salem radio
'Cause I
family.
work
You got
here.
Peyton and Eli. You got all your Lakeview P-hat friends. I mean, you've got all kinds of.
You know what I enjoy you know who I enjoy the company of?
Who's that?
5th and 6th grade girls basketball players.
Yeah.
Because when I drive them to away games, they play songs that I like to hear in my own car. That's what I like, and they're
And-
fun, and they make me laugh. I've learned so much about
And they know the artists of those songs.
exactly. How do only the lonely can play?
Oof.
Oof.
Boy.
Ready? So hold on. This is the best part, Justin. Here we go. Hold on to nothing we know. I feel so. This is
Ooh,
going to be my new
wow.
karaoke song.
Gee whiz.
It's not that bad, Dan.
I think that just knocked out the live stream. Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, Amy, that's great that you feel good driving around a bunch of 6th grade girls in your car. Dan, don't try that.
Thanks for the tip, Ralph. I appreciate that. Good advice.
I think, too, that if you're going to run the ministry of loneliness, you should be like in the order of Melchizedek. Lonely for all times. Nobody lonelier. But, I think this ministry is going to get funded with more dollars, worth more pounds sterling by the Brits than the British Dental Authority, and if you've ever spent time over there and you've seen a Brit open its mouth you'll know why.
Oh, thanks for the call, Ralph.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I got nothing but
Well,
time
you
to
get
talk
lonely.
to people. I like
What
to.
do you do? Well, now you have a dog, so at least you can talk to your dog.
That's
but does your dog talk back?
Well, it's the only one I want to hang around with anyway. I
Right.
mean, it's not like there's the other thing too is
What, Dan? Tell me.
Different people have different levels of independence. So some people need somebody to be around them. Fortunately, I don't suffer from that infirmity.
No, you need people to stay away from you.
What about that? How is that factored in too? You just these elderly. Maybe it's just very much like I want to spend more time with my family. Maybe they don't want to spend time with you. Maybe the lonely are, they're not all Steve Martins and Charles Grodins. They want to be lonely. And the whole thing. Oh, it leads to an increased incidence of cardiovascular disease and all these.
Oh my God.
It impacts your mortality. Maybe people aren't lonely. They want to get out of the waiting room and upstairs. They want out. Nick and Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi. I think Trump should go ahead and elect a minister of loneliness, and in my opinion, it should be none other than Stormy Daniels. I think that would be an excellent choice for that position.
Well, thanks for the call, Nick. Sure. I suppose much like Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor, she would not necessarily be limited to a particular sex, and so.
I don't want to know about Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor, okay?
Would you? How about Marlon Brando and Marvin Gaye? Do you want to hear about that?
Oh my God, no, I don't want to hear about that either. Gross.
Do you want to hear what?
I don't want that.
Michael in Highland Park.
Good morning, guys. Well, one way to fight loneliness, we already have government addressing that in our tax code. It's called dependents. So we might as well be able to change the number of them and increase the age up to infinity. So no matter who we have to.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Michael.
I'm sorry, what
I
did
get
he
it.
say?
It's just you have dependents. You're incentivized in the tax code to have dependents. So just change the eligibility to infinity, the entire life, and then you'll never be lonely. You'll get a tax break for keeping the kids at home.
Yeah, that's
Peyton and Eli and you can be together forever. Wouldn't that be fun? Mark in Des Plaines.
Is this the Valentine's Day segment?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. My least favorite holiday.
It's the government as Hallmark. Yes. Thanks for the call, Mark. Sean in Elmwood Park, speaking of Valentine's Day and romance.
Every father of teenagers with a wife over or around the menopause hurdle has one favorite sentence.
What?
Table for one, please. There's no such thing as loneliness. As far as the Limeys, they don't have a minister of loneliness. They have a national pimp. Have you seen some of these people walking around England, for God's sakes? Please.
Thanks, Sean. August in Homewood.
Yeah, I think it's delicious that this came out of England because it's in line with the old Monty Python skit, Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yeah, that's coming next. No question. Thanks, August. Appreciate it.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, speaking of a table for one, celebrating obesity at one university. But first, here's your forecast. It's cloudy, as you can see outside, cold, a high of 22 degrees today, but that's not the big story. The big news is the snowstorm that is approaching the area. We go into a winter warning at 6 o'clock tonight, which expires at 6 p.m. on Friday. 3 to 6 inches tonight. And then tomorrow, clouds of, we're going to have cloud skies, coldy, of course, because it's going to be snowing all day, so there's no sunshine. Accumulating 4 to 8 inches. Storm totals should be about a foot before it's all said and done. And then we have Saturday, 1 to 3 extra inches sprinkled on top. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Kennedy inbound. No, not lonely at all. It's an hour and 10 minutes O'Hare to downtown. They're packed like sardines. The cars are from Foster and the Burn Circle It's 48 minutes from Montrose to the Circle. It's 45 in the express lanes, outbound 36 minutes to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Hook Junction, outbound 25. The Eisenhower, looking at 55 minutes, 390 to downtown, 38 from Manheim, outbound 48 minutes to 390. Stevenson Brutal, First Avenue to Western with a crash, still there on the right shoulder. It's an hour and 14 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, stuffed up Southwest Highway to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial slow, the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. The other tollways are good. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
No more excuses, gentlemen. It's a new year. It's time to do the things you've been putting off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. I personally recommend visiting my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of the on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men with low T. If you do have low T, it can make you feel tired and grumpy, maybe even lonely. It can raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and cause you lose muscle mass. If this is something you've been experiencing, you should go get your testosterone levels checked. Guys, take the first step this new year. Contact my friends at Low T Center. Now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number again, 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 or go to lowtcenter.com.
When the weather is chilly and cold, it's a great time to get out for some indoor fun for everyone. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectible Show is this month, February 15th through the 17th, now at the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. See one of the largest coin shows in the nation. Admission and parking is free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars. U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectible Show is this month, February 15th through the 17th, now at the new location, the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking is free with your photo ID. Get more information at chicagocoinshow.com. chicagocoinshow.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had this crazy thing happen with my eyesight. I went back to get my contact lenses done, and my optometrist, and I'm 46, he said, "This is really weird, but your eyesight is better." I'm like, I can't believe it, but I think it's these vitamins I'm taking.
I'm a huge believer in the product. I've tried lots of stuff, and this is the only real thing that I've ever, because of all these comparisons with all the other stuff I've had, this is by far the best thing, and consistently.
We're so healthy now on the Balance of Nature. There's no words to say how well it works.
Doing good on it, really. I'm feeling my skin is softer, and I feel good.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Prof, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I want to tell you about a product that I've been using for the past 3 months that I love and that you should know about. It's called Calitrin. And here's the thing. I started using it after the holidays to shed a few pounds, and I've already seen it work for that, but there are so many other amazing side benefits. I'm sleeping better, I've got more energy, and my joint pain has been reduced. And here with me now is Elizabeth from Calitrin with this amazing offer.
Yes, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Amy. Yes, you're exactly right. Calotren is a supplement that is good for you. You're giving your body back exactly what it needs to rev up your metabolism naturally by building up that lean muscle tissue. And if you have any weight to lose or you just want to see the side benefits, you can go to toploss.com. You can use promo code Amy and save 10% on your order today. That's at toploss.com. Or you can order by phone. The number is 1-800-325-4366.
You have no excuse not to try Calotren. Ladies' swimsuit season will be here before you know it. Calotren is a great long-term solution to take the weight off and keep it off. Thanks, Elizabeth.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm so lonely.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un. Why don't they have a ministry of, well, that's Kim Jong-il, but Ministry of Loneliness in North Korea, perhaps.
Can you sing this song?
It's racist.
Oh, my gosh, it's not racist.
Sorry, Trey Parker, Matt Stone.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Coming up
can't
on...
do caricatures. No parodies allowed in this climate.
Yes. Hashtag, don't do it.
Mm.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Eric Cohen, marketing manager for the Illinois Policy Institute, about the budget address that Ronner is going to give next week, the state of Illinois, and what Illinois Policy Institute suggests he say. That's at 8:38.
And later, Princeton hosting those fat positive dinners. What should you order?
By the way, do you think, speaking of fat, Marlon Brando, do you think it was skinny Marlon Brando or fat Marlon Brando that had sex with Richard Pryor?
Oh, my gosh. Gross. Let's go into the newsroom now and clean our palates. Here's Mike Scott.
10 degrees above, cloudy skies. The Senate expected to vote later today on what they're calling a bipartisan 2-year budget deal.
We are pleased that Congress has been able to meet our defense spending requirement and come together on a 2-year spending bill. This deal achieves our top priority, a much-needed increase in funding for our national defense.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, Defense Secretary James Mattis is pleased.
I'm heartened that Congress recognizes the sobering effect of budgetary uncertainty on America's military and on the men and women who provide for our nation's defense.
White House Staff Secretary Rob Porter will step down after claims of abuse. Porter's 2 former wives have accused him of domestic abuse, and the Daily Mail has posted photographs where one ex appears to have a black eye. Vice President Mike Pence sending a message to North Korea today.
All options are on the table. And the American Armed Forces and self-defense forces of Japan will be ready to defend our people and our way of life.
Speaking at the Yokota Air Base in Japan, Pence said the U.S. will always seek peace, and then made his way to a plane taking him to the Winter Olympics in South Korea. Law enforcement in Texas mourning the loss of one of their own. A Richardson police officer was shot Wednesday during a standoff with an armed man barricaded in an apartment in suburban Dallas. Winter storm warning in effect for us, 6 p.m. this evening to 6 p.m. on Friday. 9 to 12 inches of snow, depending on who you're watching. Winter storm watch will reach much of the state, and much of the northern part of the state, and northwest Indiana. 10 former students and employees of Northwestern University's journalism school are accusing a prominent professor there, Alec Klein, of harassment and bullying. Chicago man is behind bars after allegedly trying to sell to undercover officers counterfeit tickets to the Duke, North Carolina basketball game this week. Apparently, authorities arranged to meet Brandon Michael Goodall, who traveled from Chicago, said he had tickets, and then set up shop in North Carolina and posted ads on Craigslist. They say when Goodall handed over the tickets, he was handcuffed, taken to jail. He's being held on nearly $9,000 bond. Hawks and Stars meet tonight at the UC. DePaul fell to Creighton by 1 in the Valley. Loyola beat Drake. In the Big Ten, an upset as number 14 Ohio State took down number 3 Purdue. St. John's followed Saturday's win over number 4 Duke with a stunning upset of top-ranked Villanova, 79-75. The news service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained through the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Start a 30-day trial, and your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. 8:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next. on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants the media to stop overreacting.
We dropped 1,100 points. That's 4.6%. The 4.6% happens about 3 times a year. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with interest rates likely rising because the economy is doing so well. It has to do with a normal, inevitable course correction, but yet the media never wants to miss a chance to show him up.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
See the nation's largest auto show at McCormick Place February 10th through the 19th. Log on to ChicagoAutoShow.com for details and download the official Auto Show app.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
It is 8:36, and let's get a check of your roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound jam, Foster to Diversey and Fullerton to the Bird Circle in an hour and 8 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 46 minutes from Montrose, 35 in the Express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose, it's 32 to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction outbound 24. Eisenhower 55 minutes, 390 to downtown, 38 from Manheim, outbound 48 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 22 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive after a crash at Western, outbound 36 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 30. Northbound Tri-State delays are from 87th to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial slow, the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway, and Army Trail to 290. The other tollways are good. Lakeshore Drive southbound, still Montrose to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast, cloudy, cold, 22 today. And that winter storm warning kicks in at 6 to 9. Periods of snow overnight, 3 to 6 inches will fall in a low of 18. Currently 10 above. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We've got spirited gubernatorial primaries on both sides of the aisle going on, but you also have the work of state government, such as it is in Illinois. General Assembly back in session. The governor has given his State of the State address last week. He gives his budget address next week. How does he plan to pay down $10 billion in unpaid bills? How is he going to abide the capital requirements of the CPS bailout deal that was forged last year, while also proposing to roll back the 32% structural income tax increase? That's what he says he wants to do after kind of, I would say, sitting idly by while 15 House Republicans surrendered to Madigan and passed it. Well, for more on this topic of what he may do, but as well as what he should do, we're pleased to be joined by Eric Cohn, who is the marketing manager at the Illinois Policy Institute. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, so I'm not lonely this morning.
There you go. We're glad to hear that. Whatever we can do here at the ministry. Give me the top lines of what you think, what Illinois Policy Institute thinks Rauner should say, should propose in the his 2018 budget address.
Well, let's take a look at how we got to where we are right now. We haven't had a balanced budget in the state since 2001. We went a couple years without a budget at all, and we've had this kind of moving from crisis to crisis to crisis, and what it has engendered is no real forward-looking from state government, from legislators, and it has created an atmosphere of uncertainty for Illinois families. We don't know what is coming next because we're moving from crisis to crisis. So what we're
Eric, you know what? Hold on 1 second. We've got a bad connect here, so
Yeah, let's try a different line.
We're gonna try and get you back in just a second.
You know,
here.
I will say this. I think it's the problem lies on his end. I mean, all my years here, I've never heard that before.
Oh, okay.
That kind of
all right. We're going to.
Canny.
We're okay.
What are you expecting from Ronner's 2018-2019 budget address besides verbal ambient?
The same pap. I don't know, the same pap. Whatever Diana thinks you should say.
Oh.
All right, we're going to effort to get Eric back. We'll be right back.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, listen up. Very important information in the weather department. Right now it is 11 degrees, going up to a high of 22 degrees. Cloudy skies, but the snow is going to move in here late this afternoon. A winter storm warning in effect until 6 p.m. tomorrow night. We're going to have anywhere from 3 to 6 inches starting tonight. And then when you experience Friday, it's going to be on and off snowstorms throughout the day, 4 to 8 more inches. Storm totals could be anywhere from 8 inches to a foot of snow, a high of 28 degrees. And then on Saturday, a little parting gift, 1 to 3 inches of snow on top of all of that. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Happy sledding. South side of Chicago, 79th Street is blocked off in Cottage Grove and St. Lawrence after an early morning fire. Kennedy inbound, very heavy. Foster to Diversey and Fullerton into downtown Chicago. It's an hour and 8 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 46 minutes from Montrose, 35 in the Express. Outbound 32 to the airport. Hayden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 24. The Eisenhower holding at 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 46. Stevenson, an hour and 22 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36 minutes. The Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 18 minutes. I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 30. Northbound Tri-States, though, 87th, 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Veterans Memorial, the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway, and Army Trail to 290. The other tollways look good. Northwest Indiana's clear. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call David Hochberg over there at Team Hochberg. Abby, a millennial, purchasing a home, so her father recommended she call Team Hochberg to get approved before speaking with a realtor. Instead, Abby consulted with her friends who never purchased a home and applied for a mortgage online. Abby called her dad frustrated because the online lender wasn't responding to her emails. Abby's father told her to stop messing around online and call Team Hochberg, the only lender he trusted to help his daughter. Now, Team Hochberg approved Abby to purchase a home before speaking with a realtor, and Team Hochberg's real estate experts found Abby the perfect home. The internet's great for purchasing socks, shoes, and underpants, not mortgages. So if you're purchasing a home, call Team Hochberg. That's what it said, underpants. Call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 for straightforward, honest advice. Do what I did. Call Team Hochberg, 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, 4358 NMLS 19186.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. But fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. The left is so accomplished in sensationalizing and rewriting history because they so doggedly sensationalize and rewrite the present. The Nunez memo is one of the better case studies in recent memory. We have sanctimonious gasbag Jim Comey complaining about weasels and liars, translation, House Republicans, for fulfilling their oversight responsibilities of the FBI, reminding us that there aren't a lot of schools or streets named after Joe McCarthy. That's something Comey will have in common with McCarthy. We have John Heilman, one of MSNBC's Russian collusion bots, suggesting that Paul Ryan is a Russian agent. Because Paul Ryan agrees that the Nunez memo should be released, you see, that puts Ryan on Team Nunez, which puts him on Team Trump, which puts him on Team Russia, which puts John Heilman in a 1959 Richard Condon novel because he's living in a fictional world. We have a DC press corps from a bygone era presently being feted on the silver screen for unearthing government secrets, while their descendants decry the notion of being handed a tidy summary of the same. We have Beltway big government guerrillas who will say and do, or not say and not do, whatever is required to achieve their singular end, the end of Trump.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, all right, let's try Eric Cohen from the Illinois Policy Institute again. I think we got him off his Gordon Gekko brick phone and onto a landline. Eric, are you there?
I'm here. Hopefully
that's so much better.
Much
lovely.
much better.
Now we can hear your dulcet tones. So we were talking about Rauner's budget address next week, February 14th, and what you think that should contain to address all of the fiscal ills that ail Illinois.
What I think we need to do is we need to have a reset of the culture in Springfield, and that has been one of moving basically from crisis to crisis. We haven't had a balanced budget since 2001. We went a couple years without any budget at all that ended in the calamity we saw back in mid-2017. Here's the reality. Spending has consistently outpaced tax revenues in Illinois for more than a decade now. We've grown more than $7 billion since 2010 alone. So this is a long-term problem that just gets worse every year. We have to change that culture, and what we're proposing to do that is a spending cap that caps government spending growth and ties it to what taxpayers can actually afford. That will give Illinois families some certainty, which is something that is lacking in this state now. Illinois families don't know what is coming down the pike from Springfield. If you see this manifest itself.
Is this cap like the Tabor caps from the late 90s in a number of states, including Colorado, where you cap state spending at no more than the combination of population growth plus inflation or CPI?
Yeah, what we're proposing is to cap all government spending at 2.89%, which matches the average annual growth in Illinois' gross domestic product per capita since 2000.
Okay. And just a point of order, I mean, those caps, that's a different threshold, but it's kind of the same concept, and marrying it to growth makes a lot of sense to me. But, I mean, those caps, this is an idea, these hard caps, that actually worked to rein in runaway spending in the states that instituted it and abided it for as long as they did.
Exactly, and we see no reason we can't replicate that here in Illinois. Illinois families, when they sit down, every year, every month to take a look at their budget, they are thinking long term. And we have not had a lot of that in Illinois for quite a while now, which we see in the way that Illinois goes about its budgeting process. If you look at the budget that passed in July of last year, included the 32% income tax increase, and yet still, only a matter of months later, it was $1.5 billion out of balance. So we know we have this cultural problem, we have this lack of long-term thinking, and this spending cap, putting some reins on the state legislature, is a way to provide that kind of certainty and get government thinking like Illinois families have to do in terms of how they budget for themselves.
Well, besides the spending cap, are there any government programs that you think should be eliminated?
So we think that, there are, this isn't a program that's proposing sweeping budget cuts. We're focusing on smart growth, tying the growth in government spending to growth in Illinois' economy, so that Illinoisans can really rest assured that they're getting a state government that they can afford and that will be predictable to them. Barring an economic downturn, the state could have a balanced budget with a surplus, we predict, by 2025.
And what about the legacy costs, like, as I mentioned at the outset of our discussion, upwards of $10 billion in unpaid bills?
Yeah, so this will, I think this will help put some reins on the growth in government spending that is crowding out dealing with a lot of those legacy costs. So as we're saying, if we have a balanced budget with a surplus by 2025, rather than having the budget continue to grow out of control and the legacy costs growing out of control, we can begin to deal with the legacy cost problem without having the crisis to crisis every single year with a state budget.
And so what Governor Rauner's school superintendent proposed, Tony Smith proposed the other week, another $7 billion in spend for K through 12 education. Well, that's not going to be feasible under your vision of smart growth and spending mirroring economic growth in this state.
You're going to have to start making some hard decisions. And, yes, we've seen this kind of growth out of control, and this is just another example of it. We need state governments to think hard and long-term and really act like Illinois families have to do, in terms of looking at the revenue that is coming in, looking at what we are spending and adjusting accordingly. And we believe the spending cap is the way to force their hands to deal with these problems in a responsible way that gives the kind of certainty that Illinois families need if they're going to want to remain in this state long term.
What's the perspective on repeal of the 32% tax increase, income tax increase passed last year then? Is that something that's going to have to be phased out as spending is pared down, or in your estimation, your document, can we recommend repealing that immediately, straight away, in toto?
So we're looking at having that phased out over time. We know the governor is likely going to present repealing it immediately. We think our plan provides with it provides predictability and provides certainty, and it provides what families are going to need if they're going to stay in the state. We see the massive out-migration crisis. We know taxes are driving that. The Paul Simon Public Policy Institute says that's the number one reason. Getting spending under control is the gateway into being able to have a tax structure that is affordable for Illinoisans, and that we can really fix that problem long-term if we fix the spending problem that's driving it.
He is Eric Cohen, marketing manager for the Illinois Policy Institute. IllinoisPolicy.org is the website on Rauner's budget address, and you can go to IllinoisPolicy.org to get the Illinois Policy Institute recommendations for that budget address. Eric, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
AM 560's Passport to Paradise contest is open to any legal U.S. resident, age 18 or older. To enter, download the AM 560 mobile app and fill out the entry form between January 22nd and February 9th, 2018. One grand prize winner will be randomly chosen on February 12th and will receive a 7-night trip for two to Riviera Maya, Mexico, including round-trip airfare and a junior suite at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera, Cancun. Approximate retail value $3,334. Visit 560theanswer.com for complete rules. The following is a paid political announcement.
Now that I've got your attention, my name is Jeannie Ives, and I'm the conservative running against Bruce Rauner for governor. I'm an economic liberty, pro-family West Point grad. I've spent the last 5 years battling Chicago Democrats. I didn't think I'd have to spend so much time battling Bruce Rauner. But when Rauner betrayed conservative families, that's exactly what I did. Rauner made Illinois a sanctuary state. I voted against it. Rauner made you pay for abortions in all 9 months of pregnancy. I voted against it, and so did every other Republican legislator. Rauner took money from your schools to bail out the Chicago public schools. I voted against it. National Review has called Rauner the worst Republican governor in the country because he is. Rauner betrayed us. I honor who we are as conservatives. Rauner can't win re-election. He said he's not in charge. With your help, I'll lead the charge.
Paid for by Ives for Illinois.
What interest rate would you rather pay on your credit card debt? 17% or less than 6% APR? The answer is obvious, Lightstream. Because with Lightstream, you may be able to consolidate credit card debt and dramatically cut your interest rate to as low as 5.49% APR with AutoPay. Plus, radio listeners get an additional rate discount. Just go to lightstream.com/news. With average interest rates on credit card debt at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands in interest. And because Lightstream is a division of SunTrust Bank, one of the nation's largest and strongest financial institutions, you can have complete peace of mind. The application takes just minutes, and there are no fees and no pressure. Just lower rates, one low fixed monthly payment, and huge savings. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount when you go to lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. Lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rates include 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans.
AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah. Remember the Fat Boys?
Oh, yeah. They're real skinny. But fatness is being celebrated, at least at Princeton University. Their health center is hosting a fat positive dinner for students who are fat identified.
A lot of fried food, I suspect.
Well, hey. Well, they didn't admit the dinner is going to be served, but they want fat people to share their experiences as a fat person.
How are people identified as fat? Because, I mean, that's body shaming to even suggest someone's fat,
Well,
isn't it?
they have to identify themselves as fat. Now, because you've identified yourself as morbidly obese.
But I'm also fat, PHAT.
Oh.
So can
no,
the
you
PHAT fat come to that dinner?
No. Although Princeton students usually have very busy schedules, they're reminding people that it's essential that you make time for exercise in order to lead a healthy life.
So I'm sorry, these are undergrads at Princeton who don't know that exercise and a good diet is the key to healthy living?
Well, they want to discuss fat-positive programming ideas for the spring semester.
So it's like they show Chris Christie and said, this could be you. You could be the governor of Virginia.
It's funny that you asked because we're making a list of keynote speakers because this is just the first of many fat-positive dinners that they're going to be holding.
Sure.
So I was thinking Chris Christie would be good. And, you know, our Illinois guy, J.B. Pritzker, huh? Weighing in about, what, 330?
It's difficult to say. He's cylindrical, but it's I think I don't know about JB yet. I mean, I guess.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, in terms of what's he going to say that's fat positive? He hasn't won anything.
Oh well, he's JB. When he walks around, he's followed by a tuba.
I got a job following fat people around with a tuba.
That actually would be great as his campaign.
Cut it out!
When
I have a glandular problem.
It would actually humanize him if when he was rolling around on the lawn with kids.
Yeah, or at school.
Or like the kids are following around in that, that it follows him around. It, like being a little bit self-aware and self-effacing. I like that.
So basically this...
and I'm sorry, what did you say is on the menu for fried chicken, ribs?
Stop. All you can eat
Pasta.
buffet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's they're not saying what's on the menu, but it's just a way that they want to just let other people know that, they want to find, if you're fat and you need a friend, find one at this fat dinner.
Princeton is in New Jersey. I mean, you could have, this could be kind of named the Chris Christie fat positive dinners. You could, sell the kind of the naming rights.
They're looking for funding for this particular event.
Call Oprah.
Stop it. Because they said at this point, we're unsure whether it will be a one-time event or reoccurring event. It depends on the students' interests and on funding.
Well, I mean, I think it's it's something that's encouraging for people like you that have a bit of a weight problem. I noticed you're kind
Hawking some calories.
of doing weight loss supplements.
Just leaner muscles for me.
Trying to get in shape. Yeah, it's about time you started taking your fitness seriously too.
Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. We're back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and be careful driving tomorrow morning. That's for sure. Now here is Mike Scott.
Chicagoland bracing for that winner.